this hire. I love this hire. And he started telling you what he liked about it.
Yeah, he's backed one of his guys, Patino has, obviously, and that's been pretty cool to see.
Some of you are saying penalty flags were red and white back in the day. They were a red and white striped penalty flag, and they went to yellow.
That seems more colorful.
It does seem more colorful.
Yeah, I think the yellow was a step backwards.
Yeah, like a candy stripe or something. Yeah. One more NFL note. Brandon Ayuk says he did not request a trade. Wants big money from the 49ers. That'll be something to watch in the coming days. Draft is not this week, but next week, right? 1 week from Thursday. Yeah. So we're very close to the NFL draft, and we really hadn't spent a ton of time talking about that, thanks to what has been an amazing basketball season here in these parts. But that's about it for the show today. You never gave me your best or worst of the weekend.
I did. My best was the Masters, and my worst was the fact that Scotty Scheffler was so dang good it wasn't exciting there at the end.
That's right.
It was so inevitable. After he hit the green on 12, that thing was absolutely over. Like, Oberg was really the only guy that was doing anything, and he had just made a double. Max Homa caught a tough break, though, on 12. That ball kicking up into the, whatever that is called, whatever weed that is. It's not a weed.
Yeah.
Whatever shrub that is or whatever they called it.
You just got fined by the Masters.
They wouldn't let me have that.
Yeah.
But that was a tough break for him, man. If that ball comes out, he may not win, but he doesn't take a double there.
Final note here. The FCS, the NCAA announcing the FCS championship moving to January 6th, a Monday night.
They've been playing it on Sunday afternoon, haven't they?
They've been playing Sunday afternoon before the Monday night FBS championship. Yeah. They're going to play it with the extended deeper into January playoffs. They're going to play it on Monday night, January the 6th. Basically taking over the Monday night that's being left behind with the 14 playoff.
Yeah.
Is where they're going to slide.
But they were playing a head-to-head with the NFL, which probably is not the best idea.
Was a non-starter there. All right. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. We're back with you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Time. A lot of stuff coming out on the platform, including a brand new Meltdown live today at 2 Central. You can watch that. Taylor's kicking out content at Next Round Live. Like and subscribe. Thumbs up. Until next time, God bless you, and God bless America.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live will share the latest interviews and videos from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and campuses all over the college landscape. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Live Daily Show. Jim, Lance, and Ryan will share their thoughts, and remember, you can always see the old shows on the Next Round Live YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, and don't forget to comment. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. It's Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
You've been wearing that thin, raggedy t-shirt for years now, and people cannot stop whispering and staring in your vicinity. We've all been there. Luckily, there's a solution to your lack of fashion and social cues. At NextRound.store, they have plenty of options when it comes to a variety of shirts and hats. Once you start putting that Next Round gear on, be prepared to make new lifelong friends and hundreds of unforgettable conversations. Hope you like random high fives in the street, because that's what you're getting after visiting NextRound.store. Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Live show now on a Tuesday with us. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, Rockstar, Forrester, Tyler Lunsford, Taylor Korn handling everything social media-wise. It is a crazy day in the portal. I would say we'll keep you up to date on it as much as we can. I guess that's fair, as much as we can, right? There's so many people going in. I was just talking to Little T out in the social media area. There's no doubt you can keep up with every name going in the portal. There's sources for that. I just don't know who's good and who's not good.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you look at somebody like the kid that's in the portal for Auburn. I'd never heard of him. Well, he's never played.
Right. Yeah. He's eating up portal space.
So I'm going to say you're okay losing him.
Yeah. So that's the thing. I mean, most of these guys, I haven't seen a big name pop yet.
Yeah. There's a few. And
the kid from Texas A&M, the safety.
Yeah. I'll get to some of those in a second that I think are big picture items. But I want to start off just asking you guys just your feeling on what's happening with Alabama basketball. Because Sam Walters now in the portal last night. And Ryland's in the portal. He was a starter. Walters is now in the portal. 5 points a game. But played about 12 minutes, a contributor. But he was a freshman. They were expecting big things down the road. And here's my question. Do you feel like this is coming off of a Final Four run? This is Nate Oates clearing spots for an upgraded position for a lot of places? Do you think this is what's happening?
I do. I mean, look, it could be a money grab from some of these guys, and they could be happy with or unhappy with the minutes they're not getting. But to me, Brown, Alabama basketball is in the best spot it's ever been in. And you've got some really talented guys that we know that are coming back, and then you hear about these All-Americans coming in. You've only got so many scholarships.
I will say the portal is the new recruiting violation. Follow me here. Back in the day, you were a top 5 recruiting class. The other top 4 cheated like crazy, but you didn't.
That's right. Yeah.
Guys just wanted to come to your place because of all the things you like about your school. And the portal has become, if it's your school, it's the coach clearing space. If it's any other rival, they're disgruntled and there are problems at the other program, right? I mean, that's what the portal has become. It has replaced. We no longer have recruiting violations because everything's legal now, so we can't really argue about that anymore. Now it's about the transfer portal. Oh, things are amiss in Tuscaloosa even after a Final Four run, or when these 3 guards leave Auburn. Oh, things are falling apart for Bruce Pearl. I mean, that's what the portal has become. I don't know if Nate Oates encouraged Sam Walters to leave or not, or if Sam Walters looked at incoming talent and thought, it was hard for me to get on the court this year. And when I got on the court, I didn't give him a reason to give me a ton more minutes. I mean, you would say that's true about Sam Walters,
He had his moments. He played a role.
His moments. And the Florida game was his best game. I was actually there for his best game. That's the one game I saw all year.
Yeah, everyone in the chat room says you trust in Nate Oates. And
of course you do.
There are people rolling in. It's just my feeling on this is, and I hinted at this when we were leaving Phoenix. Taylor and I did a video, and I even said, it's going to be weird that some named people are going to leave this program. I didn't think it was going to be Ryland Griffin, and I didn't think it was going to be Sam Walters. And it just comes up now that, Ryland Griffin was a starter for 33 games on a team that went to the Final Four, the first in program history. And he's going to play somewhere else next year. And Sam Walters, who is a freshman contributing on a Final Four team, he's going to play somewhere else next year. Your glowing team on the mountaintop in your program's history, some of those names that made that happen are going to be somewhere else. And it's where we are in college athletics. It's just so weird to me that Ryland Griffin played such a huge role, especially in the tournament defensively. And he's going to be somewhere else next year as you try to improve on a Final Four run. It's a weird time.
That you would leave what is viewed as the mountaintop. Obviously they didn't close the deal and win the national championship, but Alabama's as high as it's ever been. And for these guys to bolt, there has to be another angle to it. And that's what feels so dirty about this portal. Coaches can take a job whenever they want and take off. But, this thing, it literally works both ways. And if a player sees a better opportunity for them, they're out. Coaches see better opportunity to bring in a better player, they'll push a player out.
To your point, this is cut season also for the roster. As we watch people enter the portal today in football, and still some in basketball. For some of these are basically a nice way of you being cut from the team at your school.
But you got to remember, Alabama was losing one player due to eligibility. One.
Yeah, just Aaron Estrada.
They, at this moment, unless something else changes, they've got 3 signees plus 2 transfers. That's 5. Okay, I went to Jacksonville State, but I can still do this math. There's got to be spots made. And to this point, you've had, unless I've missed one, 3 guys in the transfer portal.
Yeah, Cosby, Griffin, and now Sam.
Well,
Walters.
and then the Skoranek, he was that was a end of the bench walk on guy. So, but you got 3 guys in the portal, and you got a guy that's losing eligibility. I mean, you can do the math here. I mean, you gotta have some room now. Did they want it to be Rylan Griffin? I don't know. Do they want it to be Sam Walters? I don't know. I don't know the answer to those questions. But I do know you got to make space.
Yeah, and
I mean, you only have so many roster spots.
In a situation where a Rylan Griffin comes into Nate Oates, hey, look, I think I'm going to take off. Nate then becomes the sales guy on trying to keep him and recruit him back. But if he's like, I've got to give up some of these spots anyway. We really like Rylan as a player, but we feel like this guy coming in is going to be as good or better, then you don't battle as hard.
That's a horrible meeting, by the way. I did that one time in negotiations. I went in expecting them to beg me to, Jim, don't think about leaving. And they were really quick. Okay, well, thanks for coming in. And I walked out and I was like, I'm going to give this a beat a little bit. I'm going to go back later on today. And I was like, but I really do want to stay. I really do. And I was like, because if that meeting goes too fast, you think to yourself, oh, really, I've got no leverage at all.
Well,
Zero.
You always be prepared if you are willing to go to actually go.
Yeah, but I do think this day and age, a school, almost any school in basketball, there might be a handful that don't have to think this way, but Auburn and Alabama have to think this way. The NIL money is not unlimited. You've got a budget. Now, it's a bigger budget than most, but it is still a budget, right? The NIL money is not unlimited, and if a Rylan Griffin or a Sam Walters comes in and says, I would like to see this much money. At some point, if you're Nate Oates, you do have to make difficult decisions. Again, I brought up the situation yesterday. Christian Wilkins is my second favorite Dolphin on this team. It was a money decision. The Dolphins would love to have kept Christian Wilkins. You know what they did? They started doing math and were like, for what he can get in free agency, we just can't keep him. This is free agency.
Yeah,
and at some point, when somebody walks up to you, you're just like, we just can't do it.
Yeah, I wonder if I'm reading this wrong because I don't know if this is necessarily a money thing. I think Alabama
with Griffin or Walters?
With Griffin.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know that it is.
I'm just saying that I think they could have gotten in the neighborhood, but based on the fact that more so the numbers, as important as the NIL numbers are, the scholarship numbers are the scholarship numbers.
Texas,
and you can only have so many guys.
Yeah. Texas lost 2 starters yesterday. There are only 2 returning starters, I think. Tyrese Hunter, who averages 11 points a game, but is known as one of the best defenders in the country. Would that be somebody that Nate Oates would be interested in?
Give me his bio again.
11 points a game.
Not bad.
One of the best defenders in the country.
Yeah. I mean, I think he'd be interested in him.
And Dylan Mitchell.
And that's
also
Rylan Griffin
left.
right there is what that is.
Yeah, so it's interesting, as Brody points out, 5 incoming, Estrada graduation, 4 in the portal, 1 open scholarship as it sits right now is the way he has it. It's just my only point on this was, and I come to this emotionally because Rylan Griffin was my favorite Alabama player this year.
Really?
He was my favorite player.
Did he know your name?
He did not. He did not.
But he did good interviews with you. I think that's why you like him.
I really know. Pringle and Estrada actually did better interviews.
Well, let's get to the bottom of this. Why is Rylan Griffin your favorite player?
I don't know. I just always liked him, man. Just always liked him. And I liked his range with his, what's it called when you got long arms?
Wingspan.
Your wingspan.
He does have a good wingspan.
I love that defensively. I loved what he did against North Carolina defensively. I just liked the way he played the game. He could get hot quickly, and to think that he was one of the reasons they're in that Final Four. He's going to be somewhere else.
But I actually would say, and it's easy in this state to look at this, but I think if I'm a program nationally and look at what Alabama did this year, I don't really sweat the portal that much. Do the schools again. Okay. Alabama's starting 5.
What do you mean you don't sweat the portal? That's where Alabama's success
That's what I'm saying.
from.
I don't sweat losing guys because even if I flip a roster, it has been proven.
Rylan Griffin recruited by Alabama.
Right, there's one.
Nick Pringle was a JUCO. North Dakota State for Nelson. Mark Sears was Ohio. Hofstra for Estrada.
Yeah, and
Dodge City Junior College for Pringle.
Yeah. So if name a school. I don't. Texas, and you just talked about their last 2 remaining scholarship players are going, or whatever it was, whatever you said. Last 2 starters are going. I don't sweat this. I look at Alabama and I'm like, the portal takes away, but the portal gives. And if you do it right, you can still be a very good basketball team. Now, you may have some growing pains. Alabama had growing pains, Lance, but they were good when it mattered most.
Yeah, and the thing is, you start to look at teams that had impacts in college basketball. Dalton Knecht was one of the biggest impact guys out there. This is a guy that wasn't at Tennessee the year before.
Northern Colorado.
Lance Jones, who was a major player on Purdue's roster, was at Southern Illinois before he transferred in this year. Cam Spencer, before he transferred to UConn, was at Rutgers. You've got to go out and find these guys.
You do. The guy I want, and I know you know how to pronounce his last name. If you're an Alabama or Auburn person, this, I think, is the guy you want out of the portal in basketball. Dayton guard Kobe Brea, B-R-E-A. Is that his name?
Why do I want him?
He's 6'6" guard, 11 points per game, hits 49% of his shots when he shoots threes. 49% behind the arc.
Pretty good number.
How many has he shot?
Well, not many, Brown.
Wow.
But he averaged 11.
If he shot 15, it would be one thing.
I'm going to go look. Where did he play?
They played at Dayton. He was
11
he
played for
points
Anthony Grant.
Yeah, 6'6", 11. I want either him or I want the Tyrese Hunter guy or both. I can be greedy. And that's just the guys who hit the portal yesterday in basketball.
Anthony Grant, it's going to be fascinating because he's got multiple guys on his team that people are going to be coming after.
Isn't it crazy how well he's recruited at Dayton?
But Brea is already in the portal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Entered yesterday.
Yeah.
So he's out there if somebody wants him.
No, well, you want him, right?
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to pull up his stats. I want to see how many threes he's taken.
College football portal news coming up still in this segment. But one more basketball note after LT tells us about Dr. B. No hat today. How many?
He averaged 1.8 attempts per game. Oh, wait, that was his freshman year. No, let me take it back. Okay. I laughed at you. I was looking at it the wrong way.
Okay.
He averaged between 3 and 6 a game. Why does it put it that way? I don't get it why it puts it that way. Oh, that's his make miss. So he averaged about 6 a game.
Yeah, hit 3 of them. Yeah.
So he's good shot selection too.
Yeah, Nate will let him shoot more. Yeah. Anthony Grant's like, don't shoot the threes.
We're scoring too many points. We got to play defense here.
Slow it down. Too entertaining.
Yeah.
Too entertaining.
So on the season, he shot 201 threes, and the math will tell you he hit 100 of those.
Yeah,
201.
Yeah.
No, that's still.
That's good though. No.
So if he hit 201, he's shooting about eight a game. Is that right?
No. He took 201. Yeah. No, he's shooting 6 a game. 6.1 a game.
Yeah, hitting 3 of them.
Yeah.
So it comes to Alabama.
Good shot selection.
Shoot 8 a game. Hit 4 of them.
Hey, he's 6'6" too. Guy's a tough matchup, Jim.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying.
I'm Anthony Grant. I'm Nate Oates. I'm a math guy. I'm like, let's talk about percentages here. You got a good sample size at 200 threes. You hit half of them. God, what would happen if you took, 400 threes?
Yeah.
No, but if
you could be an All-American.
That's right.
Deron Holmes is a guy I brought up last week. He's a Dayton Flyer. He averaged 20 and 9 and shot 55% from the field. And that is a guy that's 6'10", 235 pounds. That's the guy I would want.
Need a rim protector is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Tell us about Dr. B protecting that rim on your head.
Again, T3hair.net. That is a website you need to check out. I started to thin out when we started this venture. Asked around. Everybody said Dr. B is the man you need to go see. Since then, my hair has more than doubled in thickness. I do that non-invasive treatment 3 times, 30 minutes each time on the couch. That is it. 205-319-0316. Dr. B offering the Centis Transdermal Infuser. This enables Dr. B to get various medicines and therapies into the scalp where the hair follicles are without using any injections. This is revolutionary as Dr. B can pinpoint delivery of a patient's genetically specific products without any needles. Call today. 205-319-0316 or T3hair.net.
Everyone in the portal wants Adu from Tennessee, everyone in the chat room wants Adu from Tennessee, who is in the portal there. Marquell thinks he's on his way to North Carolina in Chapel Hill.
Yeah, the Vallow kid is massive from Arizona, too.
Yeah, we'll see See, is he in the portal? Ballo hit the portal?
I think so.
Arizona? I just saw that guy up close and personal.
What'd you think? What's your breakdown on him?
I thought he was a monster.
He's big.
He is a big
He
guy.
was a monster. All right, to the football portal, where it's going to be crazy for a few days. It goes all the way until April 30th. There's a short window. But when it's all said and done, on April 30th, coaches will finally know who they will have on their roster for next year. So it's pretty important on what's going on. A couple of ways to attack this. Let's go first with some guys that we know from the SEC. Tennessee linebacker Elijah Herring led the team in tackles last year with 80 tackles. He is in the portal today. Now, he wasn't supposed to be the starter last year. The guy ahead of him got injured and was missed for the season. But Herring stepped in and had an unbelievable year, but he goes into the portal. The other guy's coming back, so I don't know if he didn't think he could keep his job, his position, or what. But Herring, SEC proven with 80 tackles. If you're needing a linebacker, he's in the portal today. Also in the portal from the SEC, Texas A&M safety Jacoby Matthews, 6'2" guy, was the number one safety in the 2022 class.
Man, how much money did they spend and it equated to nothing?
Yeah, I mean,
a lot. That was the 2022 class was the class that they bought every one of them. Nick Saban's comments.
Yes, you were right there for that.
That was the class. And,
I mean, and that class got their coach fired.
and they're all gone now.
And every one of them was left, basically.
And with the feeling that none of them got the money they were promised, to be honest with you. That's the feeling on the streets, right?
Yeah, but Matthews is a guy that's got a lot of experience. I mean, he's played in 21 games in 2 years. Obviously, he has 2 years of eligibility left. So that would be a really good get.
I just don't know if Alabama's in the market for a safety. Maybe Auburn's in the market for a safety. Other SEC teams, we'll see where Matthews ends up, but he's one of the names that is going to be highly sought after, maybe number one in the portal right now, according to some. Herring will be interesting. Linebacker help always needed, right?
Yeah, I mean, Lawson and Campbell really good last year, but yeah, you could always use that help.
2 receivers popped for me early on. I want your take on this, the guys. One of them is Penn State wide receiver Keandre Lambert-Smith. Almost 2,000 yards, 11 touchdowns, 53 grabs last year for Penn State. Your thoughts on him as a wide receiver?
You know, you never know what's going on internally. Like, does he get along with James Franklin, his position coach? Is he getting offered more money? Or does he not like his quarterback situation with Drew Aller? You know, we heard coming into last season that Drew Aller was going to be the best quarterback that James Franklin has had. I thought he was okay. He he wasn't Trace McSorley. But look, this is a guy that's got, obviously, a lot of reps, a lot of grabs, and if I'm a wide receiver, not only am I looking for money, but I'm looking for a place where I can go put up some big numbers.
Well, I'm looking for a good quarterback. I would treat it like I'm a free agent wide receiver in the NFL. And you've seen, when we talk about it often on this show, you've seen free agent wide receivers in the NFL frequently make a mistake. They have a huge year. They take the biggest paycheck, and they don't pay attention to who their quarterback is. And they go to a worse quarterback situation, and then all of a sudden they're a mid-tier receiver. Yeah, and if I'm a college wide receiver.
But those guys are set forever.
Well, they are set forever, but.
Devontae Adams, Packers to Raiders, right? That was his name, correct?
Yeah, Devontae Adams of Packers to Raiders. Now,
his numbers aren't the same. He went there thinking Aaron Rodgers was going to go there.
Right. His bank account's bigger, though, and he can retire. If you're Lambert Smith, this is a situation where you are trying to position yourself for the next level.
Yeah.
So you want to be a guy that puts up numbers.
That's right. So I want to go to a quarterback. To Lance's point, you're set for life in the NFL. That's not true in college because you probably only have one more year of this. So you're not setting yourself for life with an NIL deal just to go anywhere. So if I'm a receiver, am maybe not taking the most money I can get, but taking the best quarterback situation I can get, the best offense situation I can get in college. Because that's the thing about the difference in the NFL and college. You don't even have to go to a great quarterback. Just go to a great offense. Yeah. Like there are schools that their quarterbacks may not go tear it up in the NFL, but year after year after year, they got a pretty good offense. That's where I go.
Again, we can't hit everyone in the portal. It's going to be flying by all day long. Today's the official first day that
Do you have an estimated number that is in there already?
Taylor sent it out, counting the first portal, it was over 2,600 people. Not for this one, but overall so far. The other one is Michigan wide receiver Carmelo English. You saw him play a little bit.
Yeah, I really don't know much about English. But obviously played with the best team in college football this past year.
Yep, and one of those quarterbacks that
and
is
losing,
going to be sought after.
Yeah, losing his quarterback, losing his head coach, a lot of unknowns in Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
Got them coming up in 4 downs, by the way.
Michelson laser vision, and then we'll do one more theme because I don't think this is what everyone thought the portal would look like. There's one player that is sort of exclamation point today about the portal situation. Michelson laser vision. As we get to Michelson, I will tell everybody in the chat room, you're correct on SEC to SEC transfer in this portal, but you can apply for a waiver.
You can, but I will tell you someone within the SEC universe that would know. I'll just put it that way. I checked with them last night about the waiver situation. I was like, look, I get it that there's a restriction right now, SEC to SEC, but players have had a lot of success with NCAA waivers. Could they do that within the SEC after February 1st? Because that's when the restriction starts. And the answer I got was nothing would stop them from applying for a waiver, but I wish them the best of luck.
Yeah.
So someone within the SEC that knows is like, that is not going to happen because the SEC schools are the ones that have agreed on this.
That's right. The coaches put this in place really back when Kirby left and went to Georgia. There was a big stink about a player here leaving Alabama to go to Georgia. I think Georgia has had a player go to Alabama. There are some within the confines of the conference. The conference coaches said, "Hey, let's come up with a rule," and they want to adhere to that rule. So it makes it hard. You can apply, but it makes it hard to get it. You'd have to have some extenuating circumstances, probably.
I wish them the best of luck in that, is the response I got, yeah.
Tell us about Michelson.
Pricing is going up on everything, not LASIK, from our friends at Michelson Laser Vision. Dr. Jen, Dr. Mark Michelson have held that LASIK pricing steady for the last couple of years. Pre-inflation pricing is what they've got it called. Call 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. Ask her about the pre-inflation pricing. She's going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. I'm speaking from experience. Got this done over 20 years ago. I've still got 2015 vision, better than 2020. Make the phone call that I made, 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. For more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
All right, so Connor O'Gara is on the show later on. He's with us at 11 o'clock to start the final hour of the show. And he talks about this guy today on his social media platform. And it popped to me as well. I saw defensive lineman Tyler Barron was in the portal again as it opens up. And I said, that's a familiar name. And I went back and looked, and I was like, oh, yeah, Tyler Barron played at Tennessee. 18 games, I think he played at Tennessee. Then he was the guy that went to Ole Miss, but never really made it. And when the portal opened last time, never really made it to Ole Miss campus, and then flipped it to Louisville. Has been in semester at Louisville this time. Now he's back in the portal again. So he's gone, just since his last game, he's gone Tennessee, Ole Miss, Louisville, and he's in the portal again. I've been everywhere, man.
He really has. I mean,
Johnny
I know
Cash.
what these guys aren't doing is signing 6-month leases.
No, they are not. I don't know how they're not. Like, I just signed an apartment lease for my daughter.
Yeah, I did too.
And it's a minimum 12 months in a college town. And like, she's not even going to use all 12 months, but I still had to pay the full 12 months, right?
My daughter's not in hers right now. We're paying.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, I don't see how these college football players do it. I guess maybe they end up in the athletic dorm for a month. I don't know.
I guess NIL money, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Maybe they get free room and board.
Maybe so. I don't know. Maybe they live with a booster.
But I guess that's part of the scholarship, right?
Well, it is, but I mean, I don't know, man. There's so much about this. I don't see how you can do that. I don't see how he can remain academically eligible.
And by the way, moving is a pain in the ass.
Oh, it's terrible.
Can't
I hate
stand it.
moving.
Can't
Just
stand
sell
it.
all your stuff and go.
And I would think they've got more stuff now that they've got more money.
The worst thing I hear in my house ever is when Maggie declares that, hey, this weekend, tell me which day, Saturday or Sunday, it's going to be the clean up the garage day. Because the garage, at times can be a catch-all.
Yeah.
And
Did you ask her how long it's going to take her?
And it gets a little out of whack. Well, thank God Bama made it to the Final Four. She did it while I was gone. But it was I hate that phrase because inevitably a lot of stuff over a few months and about 2 times a year it's a clean out the garage day in the house. And it's an all-day affair where basically we pull everything out. We take some to charity. We throw some to the dumpster. And then some we restock and put it in there. And inevitably, I'm like, well, if it's in the garage, why do we still have it?
So that was the rule I made. Not a rule, but that's the thing Jennifer and I agreed upon when we bought the house we're in right now. We moved everything into the house, and there was nothing that went in the attic. And we agreed that if ever there's anything that goes in the attic, we just take it to Vapor or Goodwill or wherever. If we think less enough to put it in the attic, just give it away. Because once it goes in the attic, it never comes back out.
Christmas decorations, that's the only thing that
we keep those in our basement. So
we keep that in the garage.
The attic is empty.
And I'll tell you the way to do it. If you ever want to do a full cleanse, is you get one of those dumpsters delivered to your driveway.
Yeah.
You start chunking.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like what I've got to do now is I've got to go through my closet. And I mean, I don't know how you guys are. Eventually there's a bunch of clothes that, have I worn this in the last year?
That's right.
Yeah, Brown's got a system for that.
Yeah. You want the system? Now that my Jennifer Brown has a system.
Yeah, it's a good system.
It's the hangers, right?
It's the hangers. Yeah. So as she takes it out of the laundry and puts it back in the closet, she puts it on a white plastic hanger.
Yeah.
And after a year, anything that's not on a white plastic hanger, she goes, you have not worn that in a year because it's not on the right hanger. So gone.
Yeah, but you don't fluctuate weight as much as I do. I have to have skinny gym, medium gym, fat gym clothes. So I've really got 3 wardrobes.
You're such a complicated
Where are we right now?
We're medium gym.
Okay.
Medium,
Is that
medium plus?
That Roback, is it an XL?
It is an XL.
Okay.
Funny story on Roback. You can get a big discount. Tell them how we get these discounts.
It's very easy. It's right there. TNR20 at checkout.
How close are him and I today?
Y'all are pretty close. You're Rams blue, which thank you, Roback. Gave you a little Rams blue.
Do you know what material this is?
I don't. I did not look at mine.
It's the Butterflex.
Oh, there you go.
It's very soft.
And Dunaway is Carolina blue. Now, I have that same one, so you and I, we're going to double up on occasion.
So I pulled them out of the bag last night, and I laundered my 3 new Roback gifts: the hoodie, this one,
Or you're in the mafia,
and then a golf shirt.
So you washed it?
Yeah.
No, he laundered it.
I didn't want mine went straight from the bag.
I thought you always laundered.
No, I do.
He does.
Yeah.
I used to pull straight from the bag.
No,
but
if I buy off the rack or something, then I'm a little like this thing came straight out of the bag. I ain't worried about it.
Everything goes straight in the washer for me.
Yeah, well, so I laundered it, threw it in the washer, threw it in the dryer, threw it on this morning. But last night, when I was pulling it out, I showed Maggie the golf shirt I got. And I was like, isn't this a cool color? Because I don't even know what color it was. You saw it yesterday. It wasn't the blue. It was a off between a bluish gray or something.
Yeah.
It was a good-looking shirt. And she goes, oh, it's so short. I said, it's an XL. And so I go to put it on. The sleeves hit me right here. And it was a women's XL.
Oh no, you got the women's?
Because as soon as I put it on, and it came like I was a 1988 linebacker. Yeah. You can see my belly button.
Then you tucked it for Maggie.
I was like, oh, I think my bra straps are showing with this one.
God, I wish you'd taken a picture.
So I got it in the car. I'm going to donate it out to the lobby to one of the girls. But it's XLs. I don't think anybody out there can wear it.
Nope.
Yep. So we'll swallow all 3 of them up. So Tyler, maybe.
God,
Tyler, you want the XL?
Yeah, women's shirt. Tyler, would you like a women's shirt?
Nothing like a golf shirt on Tyler. I don't think Tyler has ever worn a golf shirt.
Yeah. There's zero. Like I see Rockstar in one occasionally.
Oh, I can't.
Sometimes I like to spruce it up.
When have you had a collar on?
I've seen him in a
black
collar.
jacket symphony.
I don't wear.
You wear a black T-shirt.
I'll wear a collared shirt. I have a gig on Thursday afternoon. I'll have to wear a collared shirt.
Wait, so it's a formal gig?
It's for a company party, so I don't want to come out and it's outside, so it's gonna. I just text him like, please have a tent for me, please.
Oh, do wife beater, man. If it's outside,
that's probably a good point. Should I do shorts too?
Get some good sun.
Get those lights shining on
it's an
people?
outside deal. The funny thing was, you finally got your hoodie from Roback. Had it been women's size, that would have been vintage Dunaway. He finally gets the hoodie, and it's women's size.
Kelsey, who handles our Roback account, she's like, I'm so sorry about the golf shirt.
Yeah.
I went over it twice, 3 times, and I said, it's no big deal. I got my hoodie. That's all
I care about. Is that a mint
about.
green?
It is something.
Yeah, it's a good-looking hoodie. You're going to love those, Jim. That is like, and Lance will back me up on this, the Roback hoodie is like wearing pajamas.
Yeah, and people are going to think you're a year younger wearing that thing.
No doubt.
I'm going to put 3 of them on there. The show being brought to you today by our friends at Hemp Hill. We'll continue the portal talk. And at some point today, we're going to unveil our top 5 players in college football, only because CBSSports.com did their top 100, and their top 5 was a little wacky, a little wonky. All positions. We'll get that a little bit later on. Hemp Hill, there for you right now with your heating and cooling.
Yeah, trusted name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. 205-229-2090. Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Incredible work. They're going to take care of you. Hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
Never miss anything Auburn. Watch Village Vice at Wardam Pods on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new chicken bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the bayou, the amazing hand-patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Hey, you. Days warming up. Looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham. We got now.
Birmingham, your undefeated Birmingham Stallions return to Protective Stadium on Saturday, April 20th, as they take on the DC Defenders for Throwback Night. Enjoy the Fan Fest, on-field opportunities for the kids, and elite professional football. There's something for fans of all ages. Tickets start at just $22. Buy yours today at theufl.com. With only 4 home games left this season, don't miss your chance to cheer on your Stallions. Let's pack Protective, Birmingham. Get tickets at theufl.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
NASCAR is returning to Talladega Super Speedway for the 2024 Geico 500 weekend, Saturday, April 20th through Sunday, April 21. Guarantee your 2024 Geico 500 weekend experience today by visiting TalladegaSuperspeedway.com or calling 877-GO-TO-DEGA. Enhance your race weekend by adding passes to the Talladega Garage Experience, presented by Coolray. It is the Geico 500 weekend, Saturday, April 20th and Sunday, April 21st. Guarantee your spot now, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com or 877-GO-TO-DEGA.
Before the hour's over with, LT and I are going to clap back at Brown about Caitlyn Clark. Just in a little bit.
I saw
Yeah.
that.
But we got to do some football news first. Before LT tells us about Woodhouse, I'll tease ahead to our football conversation. Something is leaking oil in Colorado. One Colorado player after another hitting the portal, including former Auburn transfer Tavarish Dawson, wide receiver. Tavarish is now in the portal officially today. We'll jump into the Colorado oil leak in just a second.
So if you're looking to treat somebody to the gift of luxury, the absolute best, voted America's best day spa since 2009, is our friends at the Woodhouse Day Spa, located the Summit Shopping Centers right up for Highway 280. And choose from a menu of over 70 options, including massages, body treatment, skincare, waxing, nail services. You can order that special gift online 24/7 at birmingham.woodhousespas.com, or just stop in, see Stewart and that incredible staff, the newly renovated Woodhouse Day Spa, right at the Summit Shopping Center.
I don't have all the names written down, Brown, but every time I was rolling through it this morning, one Colorado player after another, offensive lineman, defensive lineman, now a wide receiver, everybody not named Sanders or Hunter seemed to be in the portal from Colorado today. Can you give me a number on that?
I can't, but you know how that's going to play, right? Dion's going to be. I'm rearranging the chairs on deck. I mean, I've sent them on their way. I've
they
packed
did that
them
on
up.
the Titanic, I heard.
Yeah,
too.
that was probably a bad. I don't think Dion's going to use that example as I was saying it. I thought it's a terrible example, Brown. But that's the way Dion's going to play this, right? Is, hey, listen, I'm all for it because they're leaving in their Civic, and I'm bringing in guys in a Mercedes. That's the way he's going to play this. That was a better example of what Dion would say than rearranging the chairs.
But
I don't know if that's the case in this situation.
Well, and here's the thing.
Well, I told you how it's going to play. I don't know if it's the case.
Yeah, if you're out there losing players and you're not recruiting, you guys remember the bit about
I do.
I don't want to upset somebody down the road.
Yeah.
If I'm not going to see their guys.
I don't go there. They come here.
Yeah, they come here. We're all about the portal. Well, if you lose more than you gain, that's a numbers problem.
It is. I will be interested to see once this portal window closes in 15 days where Colorado stands on their roster, because as much grief as Luganville took, Luganville will be on the show tomorrow, by the way, as much grief as Luganville took, we'll see if we can get him to say it again. He was right. That did not have depth enough to be a championship roster or anywhere close to a championship roster.
I actually think they go 1-11 this year.
I got to pull up this schedule. Lance. You got it in front of you?
In a weaker conference.
In a weaker conference.
You have the schedule in front of you?
Yeah. I mean, the schedule it's a tough schedule. Okay, so you start with North Dakota State. That's coin flip, right? I think they win the game.
Yeah, I mean, North Dakota State was off a little bit this year. I'll give them North Dakota State.
I think Nebraska is going to beat them in Lincoln this year.
Nebraska, it gets forgotten. They had absolutely miserable quarterback play and were in that game in Boulder when Colorado was as hot as they could be.
I fully expect Nebraska to be night and day better than they were last year.
Yeah, and that's a bit of a payback game, and it is in Lincoln.
Yeah, they're going to be favored there.
Yeah, I'll take Nebraska.
Colorado State was a hell of a game last year.
Should have won it.
Yeah, Fort Collins this year.
Yep. That's a tough one for them right there, but I'll even give them that win. I'll give them 2 wins there.
Baylor.
I don't know what Dave Aranda's got this year. I mean, that was a disappointing team last year.
Yeah, I just don't think they're going to be good enough to beat Baylor at UCF.
Is Gus supposed to win that game or not supposed to win that game?
Supposed to win
He's supposed to win that one. Yeah.
I don't know. That makes it tricky then.
Kansas State at Arizona.
They get destroyed by Kansas State. I don't know what Arizona's got left after Jeff Fish left.
Yeah, they had some.
They had a lot of departures.
I still think they're going to be good. Cincinnati.
It should be a loss there, though they get it at home.
At Texas Tech.
That's a loss.
Utah.
Loss.
At Kansas.
Loss.
Oklahoma State.
Loss. They're going to finish tough.
Yeah. Here are the guys in the portal just today from Colorado. Zach Blackwood, defensive lineman. David Connor, offensive tackle. Miles Slusher, safety. Savion Washington, offensive tackle. And Tavarish Dawson, a wide receiver, one-time Auburn player there. Some of those were starters or heavy contributors, especially on the offensive line. That wasn't very good last year.
No, I think his only ride and dies are his 2 kids, Shiloh and Shador.
And his adopted child.
And then Travis Hunter.
Yeah, who says like a son to him. Now, Philip makes an excellent analogy in Dion's, he calls it a Ponzi scheme. In Dion's scheme, this is a bit of a equivalent of a run on the bank. Like everybody runs on the bank, and I don't have enough numbers to make it work, right? I don't have enough dollars to give to everyone. And
that's eventually what gets you beat.
It will get you beat. And if he loses too many, because we already know he doesn't want to recruit. He has said this. He did not deny that he doesn't go out on the road recruiting. He just tried to justify why he doesn't. I mean, I think he had 8 in his signing class. I don't know how many kids you're going to be able to get out of the portal.
Yeah, he's playing the portal game, but he also says we're not an ATM.
That's right.
You're coming here to play for Colorado, to play for prime time. You're
Coach Prime.
You're coming here to improve yourself for the NFL. And on the flip side of this, and LT and I really think this is his last year of coaching.
Yeah, I was going to say real quick before you get to your point, Blake says how quickly we will be on the hot seat after going 1-11. He'll never be on a hot seat because he's just going to leave.
Yeah, and he is bringing them far more attention than they've had, and it has been such a bad program. But I don't think he'd get on the hot seat.
But you will agree, October, November attention was very different than September attention.
Well, they disappeared.
Yeah, but still, they were going to go probably 3-9 with whoever the coach was going to be. Why not do it with Dion and get all the exposure?
But September, they were the talk of college football.
TCU game, I watched every play.
Me too.
Colorado State game, I watched every play.
Me too.
Nebraska game, I watched every play.
I watched every play of the Nebraska game in between that when both Game Day and Fox Big Noon Kickoff were at the same place.
That's right. Once they started losing, had no appetite. I didn't care about Colorado. I mean, they were getting drilled at the end of the year. I didn't watch any of their stuff.
But this is hard to say, but it's true. His brand is bigger than it's ever been. So he can come right back to TV.
Oh, yeah. He won't hurt.
Troy says, "My goodness, the bullet that Auburn dodged by not hiring him."
I don't know.
There were a lot of people in our audience that wanted Dion Sanders.
I would strongly doubt he was ever seriously considered.
No, I'm just saying there were fans that wanted him.
I know. Like, I don't even think Florida State seriously considered him. And by the way, I mean, I would take Mike Norvell 15 times before I take Dion. So you guys think he just walks away at the end of this year?
I do.
He doesn't try to go. I mean, I don't know that he can parlay this into anything else in college football.
I don't think he's going to be hireable.
I don't think
that's what I'm saying. I don't think he can parlay this into anything else in college football
unless he has a magical run here on this portal to build up a heck of a team. I mean, he may have two of the best players in college football in Shedeur and Travis Hunter, and you got two of the best players in college football, but you can't put a team around them, and they end up being a 1-win team, a 3-win team. I don't think that says a whole lot about you as a coach. Well, and on the backside of this, the other story he has going on, according to the New York Post, Dion says he's advising Shedeur and Travis that there are only 6 NFL teams they can play for.
Okay, so Shedeur is...
Here are those teams: San Francisco, Dallas, Washington, Baltimore, Atlanta. What do those 5 have in common?
Dion played for
all of them.
Dion played for all of them. The one he didn't play for, Philadelphia. Those are the 6 he says that his son and Travis will play for.
Oh, the Rams aren't good enough.
Yes. I hate the Dolphins didn't make the cut.
So Shedeur is really good. Can you guys remember the last time you had a really good quarterback that lost a lot of games in college? It happens in the NFL sometimes.
Well, Patrick Mahomes was a 500 quarterback.
I mean, he was 7-5 his senior year, right?
Got beat in the bowl game.
Yeah, but I think even internally, like watching the game, we would have said Shedeur is better, maybe just because more of exposure. Jared Goff's another one of these guys that never beat a top 25.
I'll tell you, Lance, and it's
By the way, that schedule to me, you mentioned in a newly Big 12, that's a tough Big 12 schedule.
What Colorado has?
Yeah.
Well, I think the Big 12's slightly better with the bringing into Utah.
Oh, I think it's a good conference.
So their Big 12, host Baylor at UCF, host Kansas State at Arizona, host Cincinnati at Texas Tech, host Utah at Kansas, host Oklahoma State.
That's a tough schedule.
Yeah, I don't know if the rest of the Big 12 did this. It's interesting they don't have to play back-to-back road games. That it's home away, home away, home away, home away like that. You're right. I mean, it is not an easy schedule, and you may be right that they go 1-11. I think they'll find a couple of wins in there. I'm trying to think of a comparison, and this is a bad comparison, but bad team to. At times, a good NFL quarterback was Jay Cutler. I mean, he was on some bad Vandy teams. Now, he's not Shedeur Sanders.
They were a bowl team one year with Cutler, right? 6-6.
I don't know, Jim. I'd have to.
Seemed like they were around 5 or 6 wins every year.
Yeah, I'll go back and confirm that.
NASCAR coming to Talladega this week. We can't wait to be out there. We'll all be out there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Not all of us at one time, likely, maybe at some point, but come by and see us. Our friends at Johnson RV has an RV set up for us, and we'll be at the track enjoying all the festivities. So come by and say hi to us, or we'll say hi to you, depending on who sees who first. You can get tickets, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com, 877-GO-TO-DEGA. Upgrade your tickets if you already have them for the garage experience there. It's TalladegaSuperspeedway.com or 877-GO-TO-DEGA. Camping available for you as well. So much fun right there. Racing this weekend, Friday, Saturday, 2 races. Sunday, the Geico 500. Walker Hayes in concert Saturday night.
In his starts, Vandy was 11-35, 5-27 in the SEC. Ooh. Like if Shedeur Sanders played as much as Jay Cutler, he'd probably get more wins. Now, Sanders is a better. I don't know. Cutler was a good college quarterback. I don't know that I'm ready to say Shedeur Sanders was definitely better than Cutler.
But Colorado should be in a much better spot in the Big 12 than Vanderbilt is in the SEC. And you guys remember after September, people were like, man, Dion within 2 years is going to have this team in a college football playoff.
That's a little Colorado news right there. Here we go with the Caitlyn Clark news that I wanted to get out here because she was drafted first overall last night in the WNBA. First overall. She is a TV rating gold mine. Forrester has the graphic. Her contract is $338,000 for 4 years. For 4 years, $338,000. She will make $76,535 next year. $78,000 in year 2, $85,000 in year 3, and if Indiana picks up the option, In year 4, she'll make $97,000. LT, when you see those numbers, what do you think?
I think Mitchell McDeere got more money coming out of law school in the firm than Caitlyn Clark got after all of this publicity, the number 1 pick overall with the Indiana Fever. I just high
school football coaches at Hoover, Spain Park, places like that make more than she does.
Yeah, Bendini, Lambert, and Locke was the firm in the firm, if you got never seen that movie.
How about that? Did you have to look that up, or do you remember that?
I did. I remember Mitchell McDeere getting the envelope for the partners, though. I don't understand this. I don't, unless it was just, look, we make personal choices, but if you really want to monetize your brand and you want to play in more eyeballs than you'll ever play in front of, to me, the play was to come back. You can't deny those numbers, Brown.
Well, I've never denied those numbers. I don't know why you started this by saying we're going to clap back at Brown. I knew what she was going to make.
We wanted her to stay in college.
No, but you said that she'd make as much money going to...
No. Nope. Never said that. All I said was you guys operate on the assumption she loses all of her endorsement deals. Like, she's getting more eyeballs now. I bet she doesn't lose a single endorsement deal. In fact, she'll probably add some.
Not yet. 4 years from now, when she's not as high profile.
Okay, well, she was going to lose that anyway then. If it's 4 years from now,
yeah, but it would have been 4 years. She would have got another year.
1 year.
Yeah.
I've never argued anything different than what you guys are saying.
I'm just saying,
knew what she was going to make.
If I am advising Caitlyn Clark, if we want to build a nest egg for you that is going to take care of you for a long, long time, 1 year is a big difference in you going on to the WNBA. I think she's probably losing $5 million off the table.
I don't
totally.
think there's any way she's losing $5 million off the table.
Well, she would have made more in NIL than she's making there. That's one thing.
Well, that's one thing, but
I think she.
How are you going to make $5 million? Where I think you've always overvalued is what Iowa would pay her in NIL. I don't think there's any way Iowa would pay her that kind of money.
Here's what should have happened: Peacock.
I agree with this.
Fox.
And ESPN. I would have paid
her to play another year at Iowa.
I said this last week.
That's what I'm saying, but she could have negotiated that deal.
Probably not.
I don't know. Hey, look, I'll come back if you can get this done. Yeah. Why would the networks not jump on?
Well, I don't think they would want the image of it.
They wouldn't, but it would have been worth them paying.
I agree completely.
$2 million each.
NDAs.
And made her a $6 million player. For the TV ratings they got.
Yeah. Troy said Ice Cube did offer $5 million.
To play in his league, not to stay at Iowa.
Yeah, Portnoy offered $10 million. I don't know how legit that was, but I would have taken either one of those for a year.
Yeah, I personally believe you've overvalued what Iowa, just the Iowa collective could pay her.
Well, here's what I would say, and I don't know if you guys agree with this. We know that football and basketball drive everything.
Yep. Well, football drives everything. Basketball is
But this is the biggest. The highest exposure as far as they've ever had for an athlete. And I would think if you're sitting down as a collective, okay, we want this offensive tackle back, we'll just use Caden Proctor. But you know what? Caitlyn Clark's more important to our program. I think she would have gotten more NIL than anybody.
If that's the way Iowa is running their program, they're idiots. Yeah. But it's their money.
Our friends at Hemphill, LT's about to tell us about them again.
And you say that. It's not like they're going to win a championship in football or basketball.
Well, they're certainly not spending money on the women's guard and not on their football team. They are definitely not winning a championship.
One more segment to get to before we get to Clay Travis. LT's going to tell us about Hemphill. As we go to that, Little T keeping an eye on the portal. Caden Proctor officially in the portal now that it's opened up. We saw him at Alabama's spring game on Saturday. All expectations are that he ends up signing with Alabama, the 5-star offensive tackle who left Bama to go to Iowa, on his way back officially in the portal from Little T there. Tell us about Hemphill again, LT.
Yeah, 205-229-2090. Trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1904 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Adam, Chad, Andrew, they're going to take care of you. Tell them the next round sent you. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
The region's tradition returns to Greystone May 8th through 12th. A decorated field of players featuring some of golf's greatest names, including Ernie Els, Jim Furyk, Padraig Harrington, and defending champion Steve Stricker.
Oh my goodness!
All fighting for another shot at history. The legends play here. The region's tradition at Greystone. Get your tickets today.
You got to look your best to play your best, and our friends at Bandwagon can help your team find the perfect uniforms for that upcoming season. Bandwagon is with you every step of the way, from developing your team logo design to choosing from their multitude of samples. You name the sport, they can make it happen. To get your uniform journey started, you can shoot them a message on any social media platform or check out their website, bandwagonsports.com. That's bandwagonsports.com. Next round listeners, it's time to jump on the bandwagon.
The road to the Indy 500 runs through Birmingham, April 26th through 28th. The fastest IndyCar drivers in the world, Castroneves, Dixon, and Newgarden, will put their skills to the test with one goal in mind: victory. Witness country music superstar Riley Green as Grand Marshal give the most iconic command in racing. Start your engine! Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix, powered by AmFirst, at the Barber Motorsports Park. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours now.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you: Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst, coming up May 12th through the 14th on Logan Martin Lake in Pell City. Free public admission. It's Bama's biggest in-water boat show. Over 100 boats and vehicles on display. Vendors, food trucks, live music all weekend long. Fireworks show on Friday night. How about this? Free Velcro Pygmies concert coming up on Saturday. Mother's Day is Sunday. They're going to take care of mom with free mimosas all day on Sunday. For more information for this incredible event, go online, LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call GutterCapBirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
Play at the top of the hour. Connor O'Gara on the craziness of the portal and the aftermath of a big spring Saturday coming up at 11 a.m. to start the final hour, Central Time on the show here. Our friends at Odie's getting ready for another big week of trivia out there, and a wonderful weekend of watching the Masters at the 2 locations.
Yeah, just a great place. The original in Crestline, where we do Odie's Team Trivia every Wednesday night. The newest location in Edgewood. We were out there for our Masters specialty show. Drop in, see Will Haver and that incredible staff. Rodney Davis has been doing the food for 33 years now. Award-winning wings, delicious burgers, great sandwiches, salads, chili, corn dogs. They've got it all. Stop in for lunch or dinner. Don't forget about the ice-cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light. It's Odie's Tavern.
And if you're fired up for golf, remember the Regions Tradition is on its way back here to the Birmingham area. RegionsTradition.com, RegionsTradition.com for tickets. That event is coming May 8th through the 12th. And don't forget, we've got the Pro-Am that has happened, brought to you by the Drummond Company. On that Wednesday, Charles Barkley is back in town. Kalen DeBoer will be there. Nick Saban will be there. Nate Oates will be there. Hugh Freeze will be there. And country music star Riley Green will be there. We will be broadcasting live from there on Wednesday as well. It's the Regions Tradition, May 8th through the 12th. Greystone Golf and Country Club. New tent there on the 18th green right there.
Are you guys playing out there?
In the Pro-Am?
Yeah. I'm not playing in the Pro-Am.
No, it's just during the show. I don't want to miss the show. I'd rather be in the White Claw tent.
I'm on the first tee again, announcing all the celebrities the hour before our show.
Yeah.
And then I will walk over and do that.
We'll be knee-deep in White Claws.
I did confirm yesterday that what they are now calling the White Claw watering hole is the place we did the show last year. And
that's where we'll occasionally, especially on Pro-Am Day, we will get
line drive
somebody will skull one up in there.
Not occasionally. It's like every other group, someone headhunts into the tent there. It's a lot of fun. Make plans to be there. RegionsTradition.com. Basketball play-in games tonight in the NBA. And tonight's the fascinating one because you don't want to manipulate anything in the East and try to play the Celtics. because the Celtics are dang good. But the number 1 seed Oklahoma City in the West and the number 2 seed Denver. And there's discussion now, the first game tonight, Lakers and Pelicans, that if you win, you go and you play Denver because you're the 7 seed. If you lose, you sort of push all your chips into the table and play another game coming up on Friday or Thursday in a winner-take-all game. But if you win, then you get number 1 seed Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Would you willing, if you could tank a game, would you want, if you're a Lakers or Pelicans player, coach, fan, lose this game, go all in one game later this week to get Oklahoma City instead of Denver?
Yeah, well, it's how I'm handicapping this game for Lance's Lock tonight. I think.
You think the tank is on?
I don't think you can do that.
I mean, it's tough to do, but you look at the Lakers. They were up 32 on Sunday against Pelicans. They ended up winning that game by 16. They beat the Pelicans by 44 back in early December. And now the Lakers are a 1.5-point favorite right now against the Pelicans.
I just don't see. I mean,
but you have no shot against Denver in a 7-game series, and I think against Oklahoma City you do. I mean, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is awesome. Chet Holmgren has been great as a rookie, but they just don't have any playoff experience.
But I guess the way I look at this though is at some point I got to play Denver.
But it could be in the Western Conference Finals.
Well, what's the difference? I mean, I know there is a difference in losing the Western Conference Finals, lose the first round. You still don't win the NBA championship.
Yeah, but I would rather play them in the Western Conference Finals in the first round.
But you're going to have to play them at some point. I think it's too big of a risk.
Let me ask you: is the first round, is it best of 5 or is it best of 7 too?
It's best of 7.
Yeah, so it's best of 7 either way.
You're not going to avoid Denver. If Denver is what you think they are, you're not going to avoid them. So you got just as good a chance of beating them in the first. I would say you've probably got a better chance of beating them in the first round than you do in the Western Conference.
You got at least 8 games where maybe Jokic gets hurt.
You do, or you've got a game.
Or LeBron or Anthony Davis gets hurt.
That's right. Or LeBron pulls a hammy in the first quarter of the game that you have now made win or go home. I mean, that's
the Kings kind of limped down the stretch, but Golden State ended the season 27-12, so they're playing good basketball. Steph's coming off 50-point performance, so I don't know. I mean, I kind of lean that the Pelicans and Lakers wouldn't mind losing this game.
Okay, so you think possibly there'll be some missed layups at the end.
It's hard though.
No, you take it.
Yeah. It's hard to do that though.
Now, Lunsford asked, wouldn't you rather the Dolphins play the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game than the first round or lose to them in the AFC Championship? Yeah, I had, but the Dolphins haven't been to the AFC Championship game since 1992. I'm talking about the L.A. Lakers here. Am I right, Lance? I'm talking about the L.A. Lakers. Y'all got a few banners up there. I mean, I just don't think. I don't. Yeah, if you're a Lakers fan. Losing in the Western Conference Finals, losing the first round is not an NBA championship.
It's not. I just think it's more strategic for Darvin Ham and the Lakers to say, hey, we would rather put all of this pressure on Denver by playing them in the Western Conference Finals.
And maybe your shot's better in the Western Conference Finals. I don't know. I feel like your shot might be better in the first round.
Jace points out that Oklahoma City beat Boston in the G League final. A couple of Alabama players in that one, but he says so the 2-1 seeds also were the best G League teams. Interesting there about organizations. Clay Travis joins us next. We'll talk to him about the college football portal and everything else going on in the college and professional sports world. He's coming up. The show being brought to you by our friends at NASCAR, again, racing this week. A wonderful place to watch the race, 2.66 miles. It's the largest track in the sport. And the high banks there, 33% degrees over there, 4 stories high. Never have to hit the brakes at this place, but it is one of those exciting races, lap after lap, wonderful people watching. Go upgrade into the Big Bill's garage. You get to see the crews actually working the cars in their garage right there, up close and personal, only separated by a waist-high fence. Get a chance to experience it all, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com, or call them up at 877-GO-TO-DEGA, 877-GO-TO-DEGA.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new Chicken Bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the Bayou, the amazing hand-patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
The road to the Indy 500 runs through Birmingham, April 26th through 28th. The fastest IndyCar drivers in the world, Castroneves, Dixon, and Newgarden, will put their skills to the test with one goal in mind: victory. Witness country music superstar Riley Green as Grand Marshal give the most iconic command in racing. Start your engine! Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix, powered by Amherst, at the Barber Motorsports Park. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours now.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap. Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemp Hill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the Next Round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemp Hill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemp Hill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Okay, portal news all over the place. That includes Caden Proctor in the portal, left to go to Iowa, expected to come back to Alabama. And former Auburn wide receiver Tavarius Dawson, can't get his first name right, was an Auburn guy, went to Colorado, started in 4 games, had some receptions, I think about 14 catches. Be interested to see where Dawson ends up. A lot of Colorado players in that portal. That portal update brought to you by our friends at New York Butcher Shop.
Yeah, stop in and see Jim and the guys, New York Butcher Shop. Pick up the finest and certified Angus prime beef steaks, burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Chef-prepared entrees, side dishes, perfect dinner-to-go choice for you and your family. Ready to heat at home with a great selection of fine wines and desserts. New York Butcher Shop, one-stop dinner shop, 2 locations, Cava Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
All right, Clay Travis joins us now.
He is the founder of Outkick, and he is with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. What is up, Clay? How are you?
I'm doing well. How are y'all?
Doing fantastic. Thanks a lot. I want to ask your thoughts on the transfer portal. So I'm looking right now. I was pulling this up as you came on. 2,460 enter. 2,460. That is as of 10 a.m. Central Time. I am all for players having the right to move, Clay. I like them to have the right to move. I just don't know how sustainable this is. And we just talked about Dion Sanders. They are bleeding players at Colorado, and he is not backfilling with recruiting at all. I don't know the answer to this. Nick Saban has said there need to be guardrails. I don't know how you make guardrails, but this does not seem sustainable.
No, and I agree. And for people who love college sports, you can be a capitalist like I am, but also understand that capitalism has to come in order for the best results competitively in sports with some guidelines. So I think ultimately this is going to lead to everybody being an employee, and they're going to have collective bargaining agreements. How long that's going to take, I think, is a fascinating question. But ultimately, it's not just the transfer portal. It's the transfer portal in conjunction with no restrictions whatsoever on transfer, right? So if you, for instance, allowed, I should say it's not just the transfer portal or not just NIL. I think you have to have either restricted transfers or restricted NIL in some way. You can't have a combination of both, which effectively creates perpetual free agency. And let me give you an example of how this is broken. You guys may know the name London Humphreys, the 3-star wide receiver that Vanderbilt signed as a true freshman that had a decent amount of success on the field as a true freshman. He had a really good game against Georgia. Kirby Smart watched him and said, man, this guy's pretty good. And they just went and signed him away and paid a lot more money than Vanderbilt could and offered a lot better opportunity. And so Vanderbilt, which recognized this 3-star wide receiver that would have developed into, I think, an NFL draft caliber player, certainly by his junior and senior year, he just leaves, and Vanderbilt gets nothing for it. So you actually are disincentivizing teams to find diamonds in the rough, which is really kind of fascinating to think about, right? Because in the NFL, let's say you find a guy in the 6th round. If you find a guy in the 6th round, you can go and get him for 4 years under his rookie contract before he hits free agency. So in other words, that diamond in the rough has value for you. Same thing in the NBA. If you find a guy in the 2nd round or you find an unrestricted free agent, sign him and bring him in and make the team. There is no benefit now to a lot of these schools going out and finding players that everybody else is not recruiting. Oh, man, they're going to be really good. They leave. They get no benefit, right? It's not even like they can trade them as you could in any other sport. So I think at some point you have to have a combination. What I would suggest is some form of NIL where when you sign NIL, you're committing for 3 years, and the school is committing for 3 years too. And then if you decide in year 4 or maybe year 5 that you want to go elsewhere, that should be permissible. But that would have to be CBA negotiated, I think, now, because the Supreme Court is slapping down any restrictions on player compensation at the college level.
Clay, we were talking earlier how much water Dion Sanders in Colorado is taking on, especially in the portal. And looking at the schedule, I was like, I'm not going to be surprised if they're 1-11 coming off a 3-1 season last year. Do you think there's any chance Dion is at Colorado after next year, after his kids are gone? And if not, do you think he's out of coaching?
Well, the decisions that he's made are very interesting, right? Because as you guys just pointed out, what seems to be the case for most schools is they are trying to balance recruiting classes with portal, right? And let's not, also miss that the portal is a benefit for a lot of teams that miss on players too, right? Because they can basically sit them down and say, hey, look, you're not going to play here. It's probably better if you go elsewhere. So it limits the risk as well as increasing the cost. I don't know, LT. I mean, both those guys are going to be pretty successful at the NFL level. A part of me thinks that Dion might like coaching at the NFL level better. But if you go 4-8, and as you mentioned, let's say you go 4-8 again next year, 3-9, whatever the math is going to be, I think it gets increasingly difficult to justify him being able to make a move up. I will say the thing that when I talk to people about NIL, transfer portal, and everything else is everybody's asking, okay, when does the market kind of set? Because I think there's been a little bit of a frenzy as it pertains to paying players, and some guys are finding out that they're getting paid way too much, right? Some people out there are saying, man, we should have never given this guy this much money. And it's a little bit like the .com era where everybody tries to figure out what the marketplace is. What I'm hearing is college men's basketball has gotten really hot now, maybe partly because you're seeing the impact of a Grant Nelson at Alabama and a Mark Sears or Dalton Connect at Tennessee. I think Johnny Broom's a transfer, if I'm not mistaken. But you're seeing how impressive these guys can be. And so there's an idea that college basketball players were undervalued and maybe college football players are closer to getting to their kind of set dollar figure where it's not moving that much. I don't know if you guys saw this. I don't know if you talked about it. Did you see the WNBA's top 10 starting salaries?
The Caitlyn Clark. Give us your thoughts on the Caitlyn Clark salary. That's insane.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think what it reflects is you're far better off being a mediocre starter at men's college basketball than you are to being a women's pro, right? I mean, there are a lot of guys making $400,000 and $500,000 a year now in men's college basketball to play college basketball, and so again, the marketplace is fascinating because the brands of these schools are so valuable that there are a lot of people out there that are willing to basically overpay because they love their university to a certain extent. But the economic realities of it have not yet cashed in. I've used this analogy for a while, and I think I've heard Josh Pate use it before too. But the idea that you would go to a game and buy tickets and donate money to the university, and then they would say, and oh, by the way, we also need you to pay the players so we can be good. It's kind of crazy, right? Like, if I've got NFL season tickets, if the Titans were like, hey, we need you to cough up some more money so we can have better players, you would think that was crazy. And so, again, I don't know how many years this is going to last. Maybe it's 3, maybe it's 4, maybe it's 5 before you get some measure of solution. But we're basically in the Wild West right now, the early days of the dot-com era, for those of you who remember that. And you can just look at the WNBA salaries and look at how untethered from reality what guys are often being paid in college are right now.
Clay Travis is with us, founder of Outkick, and he's on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. You alluded to this earlier, and I think Jim and Lance disagreed with me when I brought this up. But when players are inevitably employees, I do think the schools have to get something in return if they're under contract and they want to leave. I mean, you're going to have to put these players under contract, and you call it trade whatever you want, but I think there's got to be some trade value in college football. If a player wants to leave Colorado and he's under contract and go to Texas Tech, I think Colorado's got to get something in return for that, Clay.
Well, I think that gets challenging. That's why my solution would just be if you sign with a school, you're obligated to go there 3 years before you can have any kind of free agency. And the analogy I'm basically using there is if you're drafted in the NFL in the first round, you're locked in for 4 years, and the team has a fifth-year option. Every other round, you're locked in for 4 years. If you're asking a team to invest in you, which they are at 17 or 18 years old, I don't think it's crazy for the team to get the benefit of you for 3 years. And by the way, I also think that could be beneficial to the player because if you come out in your first year and you're not as good as they thought, I think them trying to kick you to the curb and say, hey, you shouldn't stay here is not ideal either, right? So I think there should be a mutuality of risk and a mutuality of benefit on both sides. And so in my ideal world, when you sign with a school, you would go there 3 years, and then maybe you can hit free agency and or if you're super talented, you can potentially go to the pros. The one that I think is super fascinating that not a lot of people are talking about is, we got the NBA draft coming up in a couple of months. There's only 30 guaranteed NBA draft salaries every year. I mean, that's crazy, right? There's only first-round picks are guaranteed money. And how many of those are college guys? Maybe 16, 15? Well, I'm not sure what the average year would be. There's a lot of international draft picks now. And some guys, ending their eligibility in college. But regardless, there is a huge market for a really good college player who is not ever going to be an elite NBA player to make actually more money in college than he would in the NBA, which is really kind of crazy to think about. And I think, kind of evidence of a broken reality when it comes to the financial prospects.
Yeah, and for Caitlyn Clark, the number 1 overall in the WNBA, I think she makes more coming back to Iowa. We were talking about this earlier, and she knew what she wants to do. But if I was advising her, I would advise her to come back for 1 more year and make as much money as possible and play in front of the biggest audiences she'll ever play in front of. And I don't know if you agree with this. It's not like Iowa football or Iowa men's basketball has done much over the last decade plus. And I guess Gary Barta was the athletics director. I don't even remember who is now because I know we retired this past year. But if I'm the athletics director, if I'm the collective,
I would pay Caitlyn Clark as much as I would pay any football or men's basketball player. Is that insane?
I think she's way more. No, I think she's way more valuable than anybody on the football or basketball team in terms of the amount of interest that there would be. Now, the one thing I'll say is her endorsement dollars are going to follow her wherever she goes, and she may make more money in endorsements now in the WNBA. She may have more time to focus on just basketball. She may also have just been tired. I can argue with you that she'll have an easier life in the WNBA than she did on Iowa's campus. You remember back in the day, even now, for superstar college athletes, it's hard for them to walk around campus and not get swarmed. And you can honestly have almost an easier go of it if you're a pro. But I don't think the dollars are going to end up being that much different. I think the endorsement income probably gets a little bit higher. But you're right. She may have been able to get $3 or $4 million. I'm not even exaggerating, from an Iowa NIL collective. The one that would have made the most sense to me, by the way, is actually Fox and ESPN paying her almost more money to come back, because I think there's a decent chance 60 or 70% of the women's college basketball audience vanishes without her there. So from a television perspective, you can argue that Fox and ESPN had millions of dollars at stake if she would have come back for another year.
See, we've said the same thing here. Is it just image that they wouldn't do that? They don't want to be the image of paying a player that they cover, like a journalistic principle?
I think that's a mess. And then also it sets the precedent that you're going to have to pay other people, right? Because, imagine Johnny Manziel or Tim Tebow or any of those guys that had eligibility remaining coming back, in terms of the eyeballs that they would have brought. Then you're setting the precedent of college athletes when you've already negotiated and are paying a pretty dollar figure that you would be doing that. I think is probably the danger of the precedent. But in terms of money, just looking at the dollar figures, I don't think there's any doubt that, say, the Big Ten Network stands to benefit a ton by Caitlyn Clark and or ESPN with the women's NCAA tournament.
I know we're only 4 months into it, Clay, but Nick Saban's retirement, he looks so happy, so at peace, and I really did not think it would be that way. I thought he was such a competitor for so long and so driven. I didn't think he would be able to relax and enjoy this. But for 4 months, he looks to be as happy as I've ever seen him. Are you surprised by that? Because you've seen athletes and coaches retire over time, and a lot of them become very miserable.
I think it's partly a function of the way the sport changed. I've talked to a bunch of coaches. I'm sure you guys have too. The college coaching job is way harder now than the NFL job. And I don't know that a lot of people have thought through that yet. But, you always had the responsibility of, look, Aaron Hernandez can commit a murder, and nobody really looks at Bill Belichick and says that he's responsible at all, right? Because Aaron Hernandez is a pro. Players can get in trouble off the field, and nobody turns to the organization and says, hey, this is your fault. And now you're negotiating NIL basically all the time. And so you have to be, again, I go back to the NFL schedule is pretty set, right? You know when the draft is, when your guys are coming up under contract. You have a decent amount of power in that, unless it's the quarterback, you have the ability to kind of shuffle around quite a lot. And it's pretty much football, right? Like, you're breaking down film, you're figuring out ways to find competitive advantage. You're not managing and growing 18-year-olds. You're not recruiting 16-year-olds all the time. I think there are a lot of guys that are going to get burned out from college football. You've already seen it, right? I think if anything, we've undercovered the idea that Chip Kelly's like, yeah, I don't want to coach at UCLA anymore. I'll just be an offensive coordinator. Or that Boston College's coach just said, yeah, this is not really for me anymore. So I think Nick Saban was burned out over basically college football becoming a more complicated version of the NFL overnight almost.
In my opinion, the greatest comedy series of all time ended this past week in Curb Your Enthusiasm. I don't know if you watched this final season, if you've watched the series finale. Where would you put Curb on all-time comedies?
Oh, that's a great question. Man, I think The Office, if you told me right now you can only watch one show, what's going to make you laugh the most? I think The Office, to me, is the funniest. I think it also gets into the age, right? Like growing up, I loved watching Andy Griffith and the Brady Bunch, for instance. I think it was on TBS when I would come home at the end of the day if my parents weren't home yet, right? I Love Lucy was very funny back in the day. I think so modern era, I would probably say the 3 shows that I have laughed the hardest at that are direct comedies are, in no particular order, Curb, Veep, and The Office. And then I'll give you I don't think it counts as a comedy, but I thought Succession was one of the funniest shows ever. I know it's more of a drama than a comedy, but there were belly laughs on a regular basis on Succession. I think the humor in that show was drastically underrated. But that would probably be my trio, and I may be forgetting something because you just asked me off the top of my head.
Yeah, Silicon Valley was one of my favorites, too. I don't know if you watched Silicon.
I've never watched Silicon Valley.
Oh, you'd love it.
Yeah, The Office, Veep, and Curb are the 3 where you could legitimately lose it. I mean, just so incredibly well done.
Yeah, the only thing I would say about The Office is there are 2, and you mentioned the Andy Griffith show. When Don Knotts left, it changed that show, and when Steve Carell left, it certainly changed The Office. It was just they never could get their footing back, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's a crazy proposition. When you lose a star like that, I mean, to their credit, they went on and they were still pretty good. They built obviously a good ensemble cast on The Office, and then I think Seinfeld is, that's been off the air now for 25 years or whatever it is, which sounds crazy to say. But as a kid growing up, that was my favorite. That was my favorite show, the one that made me laugh the most.
All right, he is Clay Travis, founder of Outkick. At Clay Travis on Twitter. You see him on Fox as well. Thank you very much for the time, Clay. Have a great week.
Hey, appreciate y'all. Thanks a lot.
All right, buddy. Clay with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline, where they have repriced both lots, I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur, and they're so confident. Both lots, and they're so confident on the way in that pricing. They will beat any price nationwide. You bring them the price on a comparable RV, they beat it nationwide. That's their guarantee at Johnston RV Center. Also, don't forget RV Warranty Forever gives you a lifetime warranty on anything new or qualifying used, a lifetime warranty. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur, always online, JohnstonRVCenter.com. That is JohnstonRVCenter.com.
Devontae Smith did get his contract, a 3-year extension. He's locked in with the Eagles now through 2028. Just over 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns last year. That number was dropped. They went 3 years with him, $75 million. Opens up a door for him to have a big contract in 2028 if the numbers continue to go that way. Free agency probably won't be an Eagle for life. $51 million of that was guaranteed money, so a great contract for Devontae. He may not have the quarterback to deliver him the ball, but that guy runs great routes, still a great player in the NFL.
Yeah, I'll just say if he was randomly with the Chargers, with Justin Herbert, I think the numbers would be a lot more massive. And look, he's sharing touches with some really good skill guys.
Was there a concern, I don't remember this, about his frame going in? He's a receiver, not a running back or a quarterback, obviously.
I just remember always thinking in college, nobody really got a good hit on him.
He never got hit flush, no.
Yeah. He was good at avoiding hits.
Yeah, but as you know, those windows are smaller in the NFL, and those defenders are closer and faster and stronger.
I'm trying to think of somebody that is this, I hate to call him frail.
Well, I mean, I can't think of anybody.
Reaper is frail.
He is. I mean, I can't think of a receiver that looks like that.
I can't really either.
I mean, but to your point.
Like Deshaun Jackson was not to the Devontae Smith level, but he was kind of
he was still kind of built.
Yeah,
your two
not
guys,
like Steve Smith, but
your two guys, they have a little more muscle structure than Devontae.
I think that is one of the most underrated things about Tyreek Hill. His strength, and he runs like a running back.
Yeah, I mean, Tyreek Hill probably looks like an underwear model if you stripped him down.
And Waddle seems to be the same build to me.
Yeah. I mean, he's not Tyreek Hill, but I think Waddle is a little bit thicker.
A Vol fan, Randy Moss was skinny, but Randy Moss 6'4".
Yeah, he
was wiry, I would say.
Yeah.
Another Moss there from different people, though. He was taller, skinnier guy. All right, portal is churning. We'll keep you updated on that. We're going to do there's a list from CBS Sports today. What's the guy's name? Blake Brockermeyer, who has his top 100 players in college football. We'll give you our top 5 in the next segment, and it'll differ it's all positions. But as often times we lean towards the offense. That's just what you do. And then I'll give you their top 10, top 8. There's some interesting names there. It was a list that caught my eye, and I was like, oh, really? He's at number 4. He's at number 7. He's at number 8. It's an interesting list. We'll get to that coming up in the next segment as we talk a little college football on this portal moving day. Connor O'Gara coming up at the top of the hour. The show being brought to you by our friends at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. I told you, coming off a consecutive road trips with Alabama basketball, it was a challenge to get back losing weight, but got to the gym a little bit yesterday, stretched out this back of mine, got a little run in, really more of a walk than it was a run, and then ate a couple of protein bars thanks to my friends at Way to Wellness, so I was able to drop a whole half pound yesterday. Hopefully it's going to speed up at some point. It always does. Way to Wellness, they've been with me for years and years on this journey to healthy living. You can get your own journey started by going to planforme.com, planforme.com. That's the website. You'll find out all you need to know there. The big high points you need to know is that there's no contract, there's no sign-up fees, and the first consultation is absolutely free. That's what you see on the video there. People getting their consultation. You get some samples of some of their food, their protein bars, and then you sign up and you get to work. It's planforme.com, planforme.com, the website, Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
NASCAR is returning to Talladega Super Speedway for the 2024 Geico 500 weekend, Saturday, April 20th through Sunday, April 21. Guarantee your 2024 Geico 500 weekend experience today by visiting TalladagaSuperspeedway.com or calling 877-GO-TO-DEGA. Enhance your race weekend by adding passes to the Talladega Garage Experience presented by Coolray. It is the Geico 500 weekend, Saturday, April 20th and Sunday, April 21st. Guarantee your spot now, TalladagaSuperspeedway.com or 877-GO-TO-DEGA.
The road to the Indy 500 runs through Birmingham, April 26th through 28th. The fastest IndyCar drivers in the world, Castroneves, Dixon, and Newgarden, will put their skills to the test with one goal in mind: victory. Witness country music superstar Riley Green as Grand Marshal give the most iconic command in racing. Start your engine! Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix powered by AmFirst at the Barber Motorsports Park. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours now.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations: Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Hey, you. Days warming up, looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
I ate there the other night with the boyfriend and Harper.
Did you like it?
Yeah. I did.
It's a new joint.
It's a new joint here in town that people like. My wife went in there one day. We were going to eat an early dinner at 4:30, and they were on an hour and a half wait on a Wednesday.
Yeah, always sit at the bar.
She said the bar. She said you couldn't get anybody else in the bar.
Anyway, this new joint, Rockstar, you're going to love this. It's got meatloaf. Is what I went with last night.
You think it's a different menu every day?
I just never had meatloaf growing up. Always looked at it. I thought it was disgusting. I've had it like once or twice as an adult, but I went with it last night. It was fantastic.
Yeah, my wife made it for me for the first time. I've never had it, and I mean, I didn't hate it, but I was like, I mean, it's not. Visually, it looks disgusting.
I never ate it growing up.
Sounds
yeah,
awful,
this was more like if you like
Yeah.
meatballs. The way they do theirs is kind of with like almost a tangy, spicy ketchup on top.
Yeah. See, I disliked it when I was younger because I think we just didn't make good meatloaf when we were younger.
Yeah, my mom did not make it growing up, which tells me my dad probably didn't like it. But there is a Meat and Three here in town that does a Chipotle barbecue meatloaf that is phenomenal.
I'd be all about
Oh,
that.
it's so good.
But the meatloaf comes with green beans and mashed potatoes.
Yeah, I mean, we could do a quick list before we get to the the top 100 player list. But this list is more interesting to me. Foods that you didn't like as a kid that you like as an adult. Give it to me after.
Well, how about we do that on Mystery Fifth Hour?
Save that for Mystery Fifth Hour?
We're always looking for topics, right?
Write that one down, somebody.
That's a good one.
Okay, we'll save that for a Mystery Fifth Hour coming up. Save your roof with Storm Restoration Roofing as well. Storm Restoration Roofing. Greg from Pell City is the guy. He'll get on your roof absolutely free and give you a free, no-cost, no-obligation roof inspection. Loose shingles, maybe you got some entry points for water. Shingle loose can do that. Some of the fittings around the pipes and vents and that kind of stuff can cause a problem on your roof as well. Let Greg check it out for free, 205-542-3531. He also will help you with storm damage, repair an old roof that's aging out. A lot of people say, I think I need a new roof, Greg. Come check it out. He gets out there and says, I think you have about 3 more years on this roof. And then you call him back in 3 years, and he'll replace the roof for you. He does everything for you. Storm Restoration Roofing. Check him out on Facebook as well. Greg from Pell City on Facebook. 205-542-3531. All right, let's do our players first, and then we'll get to the list.
Are we going to actually put them in order?
I did.
I have it written on
I'll
the dry
do that.
erase board. Yeah,
I'll do that.
Brownie, go ahead. You give us your top. These are all positions.
Yep.
You include offensive linemen. I was going to put my buddy Tyler Booker on there, but I figured you thought it would be a homer move. But I think he is one of the best offensive linemen in the game.
didn't include offensive linemen.
But we're just doing top 5. I need to write it on board.
Yeah,
Yeah,
top
right on the
5
board.
players in college football,
Yeah.
regardless of position. That's what CBS Sports did. Blake Brockermeyer did that. And then I'll give you his top 10 because I think it's an interesting top 10.
I didn't do offensive linemen just because I don't know enough about the offensive lineman game, and I really don't watch them anyway. Shout out to all you offensive linemen out there. I do love you. I went Luther Burden, Missouri wide receiver, is number 5 on my list.
Good call.
Caleb Downs, now Ohio State safety, is number 4.
Interesting.
Carson Beck, Georgia quarterback, is number 3 for me.
Interesting.
Ollie Gordon, Oklahoma State running back, is number 2. And Travis Hunter, the true two-way player for Colorado, is number 1 for me. What are you laughing at, Lance? Why are
I'm
you
laughing because we have the exact
Travis Hunter.
same
Do we really?
5. Yeah.
How about that?
Here's my top 5.
That is wild that we did 5. I mean, just literally 5 players off the top of my head. We got to say
Travis Hunter, number 1 for me. Carson Beck, number 2. Quinshawn Judkins as a running back at Ohio State is number 3.
You even spell it right and say it wrong. It's the weirdest thing.
Quinshawn.
No, you say Junkins. Judkins.
Evan Stewart is number 4. I think he's a great receiver.
I love Evan Stewart. I just don't know what to expect with this Mike Elko regime.
But now he's at Oregon now.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Yeah, with Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah.
Which is zip, 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 touchdown.
Keep forgetting these transfer portals.
And Caleb Downs. So I got 2 Ohio State players in my top 5, but I put Travis Hunter there too. Crappy team, great
he's
player.
a great player. Yeah, I don't think you can argue that.
We just have it out of order. I mean, I got Luther Burden the third as my number 1 player in all of college football. Number 2, Carson Beck. I think he'll end up winning the Heisman Trophy and go number 1 overall in next year's draft. Caleb Downs at number 3, Travis Hunter at 4, Ollie Gordon at 5. I still believe heavily in Harold Perkins. He's going to still play the inside, but he was my honorable mention.
Yeah.
So you went Luther, number 1, Travis 4. Brockermeyer from CBSSports.com. Number 1 overall, Travis Hunter, Colorado. Had him number one overall.
I really have no problem with this. That he was injured a lot, but we saw him early on, and he was a lockdown in coverage, was wide open all the time, and never ran out of gas.
Never ran out of gas.
Just
I'll give
crazy.
you that. And I think, he is going to be a cornerback at the next level.
I really wish, though, and people march to their own drums, and he did a wonderful thing going to Jackson State, and he stayed loyal to Dion and Shedeur and being at Colorado. But wouldn't it be fun to see him on the corner at an elite SEC or Big Ten team this year, to see what it would be like against the best of the best, where maybe he didn't have to play both ways or only sparingly played a little offense?
I'd love to see with really good players around him. I think if he were on like an SEC team, like I was just trying to think of a team to put him on.
Put him on a corner at Georgia, put him on a corner at Texas, put him on a corner put him on a corner at Ohio State.
If he were only a corner, he'd be one of those guys that you're like, oh yeah, Travis Hunter's still on the field. I forgot.
Because they're not throwing at him.
Because they're not throwing at him, yeah.
And maybe that's the way he'll be in the NFL too. Maybe he'll be the best player we never get to see make plays because nobody throws it at him. He's that good. Number 2 on their list, and this is just where I trust Blake. He does a deep dive into this better than us, but he goes defense number 2. Edge rusher James Pierce of Tennessee. Is Pierce a guy that's a game changer for you?
Yeah. I mean, he was really, really good for them last year, and, edge rusher absolutely can change a game. I mean, felt a bit high at number 2, but obviously a really good player.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how good Tennessee is this year.
Yeah, great point. Number 3 here, we saw this up close and personal, and it was a game changer in the Rose Bowl. Michigan defensive tackle Mason Graham, number 3 overall, and he's
unblockable. Wreaking havoc.
Yep, he's unblockable.
Yep, no problem with that.
Now, number 4 for him, and this is Blake Brockermeyer, CBSSports.com, is Shedeur Sanders.
That's too high.
He'd be the best quarterback on the board.
Yeah, I felt like that's too high. I don't think Shedeur Sanders is the best. Obviously, I want Carson Beck, so I think it's Carson Beck.
Yeah, Carson Beck, by the way, not even the second best quarterback on his list. Number 5, Missouri wide receiver Luther Burden, Major List Brown, Major List LT. In fact, number 1 for you. Number 6 was offensive tackle Will Campbell down at LSU. And here's where it gets interesting. Number 7, quarterback. Alabama, Jalen Milroe. Now, does anybody in the room sit here and think that the Alabama quarterback 50 minutes down the road is the second best quarterback, 7th best player in college football as we start the year?
I don't, but I think he's got that potential. And I believe with this offensive staff, the only thing that kind of scares me, Nick Sheridan, really nice guy, was nice enough to sit down with us for a good, 15, 20 minutes when we were in Tuscaloosa.
But you say yourself, it's Kalen DeBoer's offense.
It is. And there's so much potential with Jalen Milroe.
Like is Jalen Milroe, do I think he's the best quarterback in the country right now? No, I don't. Obviously,
second best on this list behind Shedeur. Just ahead of Carson, who's 8. Carson
I'd put him in front of I'd take him in front of Shedeur.
Yeah.
But there's other guys like Dylan Gabriel would have been in front of these guys.
But here's what I was going to say. If I say right
Jalen
now,
Daniels.
If I say right now, that Jalen Milroe wins the Heisman, you're not stunned at that.
No, but that's my point here.
Yeah.
By this ranking right here, we know it's a quarterback award, right?
Oh, there's no doubt about
Travis Hunter will get some love because he does a lot. So just of the 7 players he's named, the 3 players that could be in New York would be Travis Hunter. It would be Jalen Milroe.
Travis Hunter won't be on a good
Sanders.
enough team, and that's the problem. And nor will Shedeur Sanders. Right. So, if I told you Jalen Milroe won the Heisman, does that mean he's better than Shedeur Sanders? Maybe not, but he's on a much better team.
Because of the Dion factor and it being his son, if they went 6-6 and he put up massive numbers, I could see him go to New York. Wouldn't win it.
Yeah.
But just by the positions ahead, if Blake Brockermeyer of CBSSports.com is right, we could be setting 50 minutes away from a guy who will at least be in New York at the end of the year.
I mean, he could be in New York. Yeah, I'll grant you that.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to know if the chat room even thinks, is Jalen Milroe your quarterback out here?
Yeah. All day Monday, they thought Ty Simpson was better than Jalen Milroe.
7th best player, 2nd best quarterback, according to CBSSports.com. but I'm not even sure all of you think he's going to quarterback 12 games for Alabama this year.
Yeah, is Quinn Ewers even in the top 100?
Carson Beck is number 8. Number 9 is Oklahoma State running back Ollie Gordon. Number 10 is Kelvin Banks, tackle of Texas. Will Johnson, Quinshawn Judkins. Closer that time?
Very
around?
good, Jimmy D. You got it. Judkins.
Then Arizona's wide receiver, Isaiah Bond, Texas is 14.
Well, I thought that was way too high for Isaiah Bond.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he can develop into that type of receiver. He did not leave Alabama as a top 15 receiver.
And Quinn
or top
Ewers,
15 player.
15th.
Okay.
15th on that list. It's 100 deep at CBSSports.com if you want to check it out. And we'll talk to Connor O'Gara about what he sees in Jalen Milroe, Carson Beck, and these other quarterbacks coming off of the spring, coming up at the top of the hour.
Did he have Jalen Daniels, Kansas quarterback, in the top 100? He had.
I have not gone through the entire 100.
If Kansas, and by the way, Cam Rising, we didn't really mention this yesterday, spring game, he was actually playing.
Yeah, something we hadn't seen in a while out of him. But Jalen Daniels, when healthy, now he was out, I don't remember how many games, but they had to go back to Bean for a little bit.
Yeah.
But when Jalen Daniels was healthy for Kansas, he was really, really good. He had, to the point, Lance, he had Kansas kind of in contention midseason for that conference. Now, it fell off a little bit, obviously, when he got hurt.
And there's a chance they're going to be the favorite in the Big 12 coming in this year.
Favorite.
I think it'll be Utah and Cam Rising, who is 49th on this list. There's a Kansas player ahead of the quarterback. Devin Neal, the running back, is 52.
The guy that I was thinking about when Ooze came in told me he was going to tell me what college player I was talking about.
You were thinking about who?
Devin Neal.
Jalen Daniels is 66th on the list.
That's
down
still
there.
amazing. You got skill guys at Kansas that are making this list.
Yeah. Daniel says Cam Rising, not just 49th on the list, he's also 49 years old. He is one of those guys who seems like he's been there a while at Utah. Missed most of last year, all of last year. He'll be back and ready to play this year, healthy, and he's been going through spring. We'll talk to Connor about spring football coming up. The show being brought to you by a couple of great folks. One of them, the folks at the University of Montevallo, montevallo.edu, montevallo.edu. At some point, your kids get older. They become juniors and seniors in high school, and you have to start thinking about college. One place I just want you to put on the radar is that place, Montevallo. Graduate programs are there, nursing school coming, 23 NCAA Division II fully funded scholarship sports, and a beautiful campus. Go online, montevallo.edu. Schedule an in-person tour today, montevallo.edu. And a wonderful event coming up, Brownie, over in Talladega this weekend. Our friends at NASCAR getting ready to go racing again.
877-GO-TO-DAGA is the number to call. Get your spot there at the Geico 500 weekend at Talladega Super Speedway. You can also do it online, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. Make your day even better with the Garage Experience. Enhances your experience there at the race. The Garage Experience presented by Cool Ray. You can see more about what that involves. And secure your spot there. Secure your camping spot. 877-GO-TO-DAGA or TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
You have all heard of Red Wing Shoes, but what is Red Wing Shoes? It's the place where men buy boots, plain and simple. Who are Red Wing's customers? They are construction workers, warehouse employees, college students, the guy that fixes your AC, the guy at the end of the bar, the IT guy. Red Wing is a father, Red Wing is a son, Red Wing is a cult following shared by all men. A classic, comfortable pair of cool boots with a story to tell. What's your Red Wing story? Red Wing Shoe Stores, located in Pelham and Trussville.
If renting is putting a dent in your bank account, here's your sign from the universe that it's time to buy a new home. And who better to help you through the ins and outs of home buying than our friends at Mortgage Right. With Mortgage Right, you don't have to worry about becoming a short notice mortgage expert because they do all the heavy lifting for you. They're trusted mortgage professionals, and they'll help you choose the right mortgage option and stand by your side every step of the way. Visit mortgageright.com/TNR to buy before renting runs you dry. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
The region's tradition returns to Greystone, May 8th through 12th. A decorated field of players featuring some of golf's greatest names, including Ernie Els, Jim Furyk, Padraig Harrington, and defending champion Steve Stricker.
Oh my goodness!
All fighting for another shot at history. The legends play here. The region's tradition at Greystone. Get your tickets today.
NASCAR is returning to Talladega Super Speedway for the 2024 Geico 500 weekend, Saturday, April 20th through Sunday, April 21. Guarantee your 2024 Geico 500 weekend experience today by visiting TalladegaSuperspeedway.com or calling 877-GO-TO-DEGA. Enhance your race weekend by adding passes to the Talladega Garage Experience, presented by Coolray. It is the Geico 500 weekend, Saturday, April 20th and Sunday, April 21st. Guarantee your spot now, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com or 877-GO-TO-DEGA.
The road to the Indy 500 runs through Birmingham, April 26th through 28th. The fastest IndyCar drivers in the world, Castroneves, Dixon, and Newgarden, will put their skills to the test with one goal in mind: victory. Witness country music superstar Riley Green as Grand Marshal give the most iconic command in racing.
Start your engine!
Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix powered by AmFirst at the Barber Motorsports Park. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours now.
Little T from the social media area, letting everyone know there'll be a lot of content this weekend from Talladega as we go racing over there. We'll be out there with our friends at Johnson RV. What kind of content?
Quality.
Quality content, she says.
No, it's going to be quality. I mean, a lot of. You've been out there, Dunaway.
Yeah, we're gonna do a lot of people watching. Won't be a lot of racing content.
No, you get plenty of that from elsewhere. We want the people content.
Yeah. So buckle up. That's all I'm going to tell you. Reach up there, grab that strap, pull it tight. We're about to go racing, boys.
Boogity.
Yeah, later on, we'll go racing out at Barber, though. The Indy racing car, the road to the Indy 500 is coming back to town, Brownie.
Yeah, it runs through Birmingham April 26th through the 28th. The fastest IndyCar drivers in the world, Castroneves, Dixon, Newgarden, they're all going to put their skills to the test with one goal in mind, that is victory. Riley Green will be the Grand Marshal, giving the iconic command, start your engines. The Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix powered by AmFirst at the Barber Motorsports Park. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours now.
Sam Walters in the portal. Caden Proctor in the portal. One's leaving Alabama in basketball. One's likely coming back to Alabama in football. And Tavarish, say it for me, Brown. Tavarish?
Oh, you've got it in my mind now.
Tavarish.
Yeah, go ahead.
I can't even get his last name now. T. Dawson,
yes,
who left Auburn, went to Colorado, back in the portal, played 4 games last year, and a bunch of other people out in the portal. When they start committing, it'll be easier to do this. Caitlyn Clark, number 1 overall draft pick last night in the WNBA. She gets asked last night who her biggest rival is going to be.
Who's your biggest rival going into the season?
Honestly, I don't really feel like I have a rival. I think the biggest thing is the WNBA is so competitive right now. Every single time you step on the floor, it's going to be a rivalry. I think so many teams are loaded with so much talent, and this is the most competitive league in the entire world, less than 144 spots. So you better bring it every single night, and I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. But I think that's exactly how I lived my college career too, is every single game, no matter what the opponent was, I prepped the exact same way. I prepared the same way. I brought the same fire. I brought the same energy. And I think that's the biggest thing going into my WNBA career.
She will be with the Indiana Fever. They sold out every jersey they had made, all sizes, in less than 1 hour.
And we know the logo is Jerry West in the NBA. Do you guys have any idea who the chick with the bun is?
Cheryl Swoops, I believe.
Is it?
I believe so.
Wow.
Oh, good call, Jim.
Yeah, it's my guess. It's my guess.
I was going to go Diana Taurasi.
Yeah, I think it's Cheryl Swoops who did it first before Diana Taurasi. All right, we're ready to go with 4 downs now, brought to you by our friends at Slice. 5 great locations. Looking forward to my next venture out to Slice. We did it a little bit last week. Tell us about Slice LT, and then we'll jump into the 4 downs.
Yeah, again, 5 great locations now. The original in Lakeview, one of Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park, now Edgewood, right there on the corner of Oxmoor and Broadway. Get in, see the Bajalia Brothers, local pizza, local ingredients. Get a slice and a salad today. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
First down.
Which NFC quarterback isn't a starter in 2025? Daniel Jones or Kyler Murray?
Daniel Jones cleared yesterday, so he's able to participate in all camps, which I think is not a good thing for him.
Why is that?
More likely to stay on a roster if he was hurt. I think Kyler Murray is going to be a player, and he'll stay with the Cardinals. I think Daniel Jones eventually is not a starter.
When Daniel mentions this, I was going to bring it up. He mentions it in the chat room. There's a lot of chatter that the Giants like J.J. McCarthy and will draft him. Is it pick 8? Is that where they are?
Somewhere 6, I think.
6?
Yeah, it needs to be higher than 8 because he won't be there at 8.
Oh, you think J.J. McCarthy goes before 8?
People are starting to fall in love with him.
Yeah. I think people will jump up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking. Kuiper's got the Vikings jumping up to take McCarthy.
So there. I mean, I think the answer to this is you see what both these teams do in the draft, right? At the quarterback spot, I think there is a better chance that Kyler Murray is starting more than Daniel Jones.
I would lean Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's about to get Marvin Harrison Jr.
Well, that's a win for him, no doubt.
Second down.
What happens first? Scotty Scheffler wins another major, or Aaron Rodgers wins another start in the NFL?
Well, Scheffler will have 3 more chances before Rodgers gets 1, so that's huge. So basically you're asking, will Scotty Scheffler win a major, or will Aaron Rodgers get hurt?
2-time major champion, both Masters.
Both Masters,
okay,
yeah, but so he's in contention for all of them.
He is, but he hasn't stuck the landing anywhere except Augusta.
That is correct, yeah.
Boy, I do think he'll win another one this
I would bet on that. Yeah, I mean, if you're betting yes or no, I would bet yes on him winning another major this summer.
Yeah.
So I would go. My answer would be Scotty Scheffler here.
It's so competitive out there. He just makes it look not competitive when he's on like he is right now. I think eventually he's got to cool off. He can't play at the level he's played.
It's hard.
The last 35 days. All summer long. I think Aaron Rodgers wins a start. I don't think he wins another major this year.
Data Golf, which is just a golf analytics site. I saw this on Twitter yesterday. They ranked. So what they do is, they assign a number value to everything, right? And they took all their data and said when a player plays his best, all right, when he plays his best, here's what his number is. And they compared it to every golfer over the last 25 years. When he's at his best, how good is he? Tiger is the only one that was better than Scotty Scheffler. So by their data, Scotty Scheffler is the second best player in golf over the last 25 years at his best.
That's impressive. I will take a stake that Scheffler does not win one of these other 3 majors.
Well, we've got to put the back end on that. So Aaron Rodgers has got to win a game before Scheffler.
Yeah, I mean, Rodgers could get hurt again.
Good. Is that fair?
Oh, so it's not a fair bet that Scheffler's not going to win a major?
Well, I mean, the question was what happens first, was it not?
I know, but I think that's a bold statement, me saying that he's not going to win one of these 3 majors. He's the hottest golfer in the world.
No, but I mean, his odds are going to be that he's not going to win one of these. I mean, he's going to be 5-6 to 1 going into these tournaments.
Okay, and so Aaron Rodgers just
all he's
has
got
to
do
win
is
a game.
Win a game.
I'm afraid he's going to retire before we get to the season.
Boy, that would be a dick move to the Jets.
Well, it would. He's not going to be vice president anymore. I mean, Robert Kennedy Jr. has already picked his running mate there. So,
are you worried about him winning a start?
I'm worried about him playing, but I'll go ahead and take. So I've got to have Aaron Rodgers win an NFL game before Scheffler wins another major.
Third down.
I will say this. Pinehurst is where the U.S. Open is. That should really suit his game well.
Yeah.
More wins this year, Auburn or Michigan?
In football?
Yeah. I was gonna go lacrosse.
Volleyball.
I think the answer is 9 for both.
Ooh.
Which makes it an interesting question.
I think Michigan's got a tough schedule.
They do.
I mean, not that Auburn doesn't, but I mean,
their spring game this Saturday on Main Fox, by the way.
Yeah. The Ohio State game did a pretty good crowd, so you're going to see more of that on Fox. They got a decent number.
I guess Clad's got this game?
Probably so. Or he may be doing UFL.
Clatt did not do the main broadcast of UFL this past weekend. So I assume he was at Ohio State.
I think he was doing Ohio State.
So he'll probably be at
crowds
Michigan.
are killing it, aren't they?
I mean,
Stallions, who one of our proud sponsors, had a great crowd. I thought half the stadium was full.
Stallions watching. I had DC plus 2.5 on Saturday, and they scored twice in the final 48 seconds.
Yeah,
there wasn't a person to stand.
Where were they playing?
They were on the road in.
I'll tell you who.
St. Louis had a good
St. Louis, well, they always do because I think they do it as almost a middle finger to the NFL.
To Stan Kroenke.
Yeah. DC United had a good crowd in the opener. But Stallions are a weird look because they only sell half the stadium.
That Michigan, well, I think they would sell the whole stadium if they could. They only see half the stadium. Yeah, I that Michigan schedule includes Texas, USC, Washington, Oregon, and Ohio State.
Yeah,
all those are playoff contenders, and
I'm not sure Washington is, Brown.
Oh, I'd say Washington's a playoff contender.
I would say you're wrong.
Okay. Thank you, Jim.
I'll take Auburn over Washington most wins easy. I think I'll go Auburn over Michigan if I got to pick one.
There's the Auburn schedule.
Yeah. Win.
They're going to start 4-0. I think they start 5-0. 5-1, 5-2. 6-2, 7-2. 8-2.
Jim had them at 9 wins.
Yeah. I think 9-3 is right.
Yeah, 9-3.
9's the number.
Yeah.
4th down.
Speaking of Auburn, who has more starting quarterbacks in 2024, Alabama or Auburn?
I mean, without injury.
Let's go without injury.
Without injury, I don't foresee Milroe missing a start. I don't think he's going to be. I don't think they're going to start Ty Simpson in a game.
Did you see the chat room Monday?
Yeah, they're wrong. Jalen Milroe is going to start every game for Alabama. Every game. I don't know about Auburn. Again, Hugh Freeze has had every opportunity to tell you he does not have faith in his starter, and in every opportunity he said, "No, I've got faith in him."
Yeah.
So if Hugh Freeze, that's the key here. If Hugh Freeze has that much faith in him, who's going to start in front of him?
Yeah, I would say, barring injury, each team has one starter.
I mean, you just counted off 9 wins. You don't see him losing his starting job, do you? If they get 9 wins. I mean, that's kind of hard for both those things to be true.
I don't, but I mean, just because we say they have 9 wins, they might end up 6-6, and then he probably loses his job.
Hey, and by the way, the quarterbacks that are in the portal right now,
yeah.
There's not a lot of gems out there, are there?
No. So far, I mean, some big names may pop from Ohio State. Maybe the Alabama room loses one, but right now, the names in the portal have flies circling.
Yeah. I mean, again, if you thought Auburn was quarterback portaling in this 15-day window, I mean, right now there's not an upgrade. I haven't seen one. I mean, you guys may have seen an obvious upgrade, but I have not. Peyton Thorne's better than anything you see in that portal right now.
That is our 4 downs, brought to you by our friends at Slice. We appreciate them so much. And also this great event we got coming up, Lake Fest, coming up in May. Man, we can't wait to celebrate another year of the Lake Fest, and that includes and listen, this show covers many generations, and so too one of their feature bands, the Velcro Pygmies. It seems like everybody, whether you're in college in the 80s or the 90s, have Velcro Pygmy stories.
Yeah, Lake Fest, always fun. It has become one of the big events in all of Birmingham. Make sure you stop in and see the guys at Lake Fest. And it's going to be presented by AmFirst. It's coming up May 12th and 14th on Logan Martin Lake in Pell City. Free public admission, Bama's biggest in-water boat show, over 100 boats and vehicles on display, vendors, food trucks, live music all weekend long, including, as you said, the free Velcro Pygmies concert on Saturday, fireworks show Friday night, and for Mother's Day, for Mom, free mimosas for Mom on Sunday. For more information, LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from The Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali. You got to look your best to play your best, and our friends at Bandwagon can help your team find the perfect uniforms for that upcoming season. Bandwagon is with you every step of the way, from developing your team logo design to choosing from their multitude of samples. You name the sport, they can make it happen. To get your uniform journey started, you can shoot them a message on any social media platform or check out their website, bandwagonsports.com. That's bandwagonsports.com. Next Round listeners, it's time to jump on the bandwagon. Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hang out with The Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out The Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Birmingham, your undefeated Birmingham Stallions return to Protective Stadium on Saturday, April 20th, as they take on the DC Defenders for Throwback Night. Enjoy the Fan Fest, on-field opportunities for the kids, and elite professional football. There's something for fans of all ages. Tickets start at just $22. Buy yours today at theufl.com. With only 4 home games left this season, don't miss your chance to cheer on your Stallions. Let's pack protective, Birmingham. Get tickets at theufl.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Start of a crazy portal time in college football. We're about to talk to Connor O'Gara Saturday down south about what he saw in the spring games this past week. Our buddy Tyler Booker on his Instagram in his story has the Caden Proctor transfer alert that was put out. And he writes, I wonder where this guy will end up. Thinking emoji with Caden Proctor.
Oh,
there.
I wonder.
I wonder. Show being brought to you today by our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Your chance, guys, to stay updated on all your health needs. As you get a little bit older, you have to worry about things like prostate cancer, kidney stones, everything in between. Urology Centers of Alabama can take care of you. 16 locations throughout the great state of Alabama, 205-930-0920 to make those appointments. UrologyCentersAlabama.com, UrologyCentersAlabama.com. Early detection, so important. Stay on top of it with Urology Centers of Alabama. Connor O'Gara, friend of the show, back with us again. Connor, you know this hour is always brought to you by Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. We were talking about foods earlier. We'll get to college football in a second. Is there a food that you did not like as a kid?
I brought up meatloaf earlier because I had it last night at the local establishment that just opened up. I'd only had meatloaf a couple of times. It was fantastic last night.
A food you did not like as a kid that you now like as an adult?
It's a great question. It's one that I think of a lot. I think meatloaf itself just needs a rebranding, LT. I think it's one of those foods that when you hear loaf in the name, you assume the worst. And in fact, a great meatloaf is a fine dining choice, in my opinion. I think there are a lot of foods like in the Asian realm that I thought I had a certain impression of as a kid. Like when I had sushi for the first time when I was in 5th grade, I thought to myself, well, no normal human being holds this much food in their mouth at once. That just doesn't make any sense. Why does someone want this much rice in their mouth with one bite? And then I had it when I was older and I thought to myself, I get it. That makes a lot more sense. My mouth is a little bit bigger to be able to process this. And I do a total 180 on sushi in my 20s. So that's probably the food that sticks out the most. That's not the best answer to be able to come up with, but I don't know. There are a lot of those where like you just have to have things as an adult. Most vegetables I devour now. Like I love broccoli. I eat broccoli all the time now as an adult. Asparagus is like one of my favorite foods. I know that probably doesn't make me sound very good and makes me sound really old, but you got to try foods as an adult. If you have a bad childhood experience with them, you got to be able to go back to the well and try them again when you're older.
People that watch this are going to be shocked when I say this, but my favorite condiment, it's not even close, is mayonnaise. Mayonnaise makes a sandwich, but as a kid, I could not stand mayonnaise.
Same way. Couldn't stand it.
Mayonnaise, for me, like, it's fine. I'm not going to go full Andy Staples and say it's the worst thing that's ever been invented, but it is one of those foods that I tend to be more attracted to when something has been done to it. A Chipotle mayo, you give me a Chipotle mayo over a poke bowl, to me, that is a meal I will have on my birthday and be perfectly happy. Like, you got to do something to the mayo, though, usually for me to make me a little bit more likely to want to order something that has mayo in it.
Listen, I like broccoli, asparagus, and Brussels sprouts, but I wouldn't have named them publicly. You made it sound like you'll spend, after this interview, time in your recliner soaking your feet before you go on a nice hot walk in Florida.
I think of myself as a relatively personable human being. When I was at the butcher a week and a half ago, they have these Brussels sprouts that are to die for. And they were, of course, on like their last pound of Brussels sprouts. And so I get there, I get up to the counter and I order these Brussels sprouts. And there's a gentleman behind me who's like, oh man, I was hoping to be able to get some too. Normal Connor looks at this situation and says, you know what, guy, let's go halvesies. I didn't even turn around, guys. I took all the Brussels sprouts that they had left, and I felt shame about it because that's just like, I don't know if it's growing up Irish Catholic, whatever it may be. I felt a little bit guilty about that. But then as I ate those Brussels sprouts, my wife and I did, we felt just perfectly fine with our decision.
Man, you're getting hard in your old age, man. It's crazy. Hey, this portal stuff going on. We're going to talk about the spring games in a second. Is there a name that's popped for you yet in the, I guess, 11 hours we've had this open? Is there any name that's popped that is a moving name for you?
No. Yeah. And I think that's the most interesting thing so far is that I'm bracing for chaos. And I think we will get some big splashy names that are going to come, like a backup quarterback here. You know, like if Devin Brown were to hit the portal or something like that, like that obviously would move the needle. I don't think anybody is sitting here saying, oh, Jacoby Criswell from Arkansas entered the portal after like it was clear he wasn't going to be the starter. Taylon Green is going to be the starter at Arkansas. I don't think anybody's looking at moves like that going, wow, this shows craziness. I do think that everything suggests we are about to get some money thrown around, some big names that are on the move and not necessarily on the move because they're in need of starting jobs. Like, think of all the different jobs that opened up and that had the 30-day window that happened after this, post-regular season window closed. I mean, Alabama, Washington, Arizona, Michigan, like all these places where it was a one-way street for a lot of those programs. And so I bet there are a lot of these schools that are saying, yeah, we're going to tamper. And why can you tamper now? Because this Tennessee NCAA case has essentially made the NCAA useless when it comes to enforcing whatever sort of NIL rules that they had in place. So I would look at all those things and say, we're going to have some movement, even if it is a little bit slow going here.
Earlier on the show in Four Downs, I asked this question. More wins next year, Hugh Freeze in year 2 at Auburn, or your defending national champions, Michigan?
I'll still go with Michigan. Michigan's going to have so much turnover. Like if they end up setting the NFL draft record, I don't think it would be a surprise. And with the new coaching staff, it's still though, gosh, I still look at Michigan and think that's a team that's probably going to win 9 games at least. I can't remember what that over under is set at. I think it's right around there, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's more so that I just think Michigan's floor is higher. The competition certainly lends itself to be able to get more regular season wins than an Auburn team that, quite frankly, we still have a lot of questions about. I didn't think we'd have this many questions about this Auburn offense going into year 2. And as much as we can talk about the influx of talent at the wide receiver position, I know everybody watches what Cam Coleman does in a spring game, and it's, the sky's the limit. I get all those things, but we're still going to be asking questions about the quarterback situation. Even if Peyton Thorne gets better, how much better is he really going to get? And how much does that all of a sudden make Auburn's potential that much higher? Are they all of a sudden an 8-4 type team? Maybe, but it feels a little bit more like blind faith at this point to come out and say that they'll have more wins than the defending champs.
From afar, what did you make of Alabama's spring? 15 practices without Nick Saban, and I've been here a long time before Nick Saban was in Tuscaloosa, but it felt weird to see Kalen DeBoer running out with that team and not Nick Saban. What's your take on how the spring went for Kalen DeBoer's first trip down Spring Lane here in Tuscaloosa?
Yeah, if you want to know why this is different, just all you got to do is see the impact of Roll Tide Willie, and just, that tells you everything you need to know about how much different the vibe is around Tuscaloosa. Look, I think that last year we'll
send you a Venmo real quick. You've got to put $1 in the jar for mentioning Roll Tide Willies, but you have to do it virtually.
Jim, I've done my best to actually refrain from saying that on every different platform, but I do feel it is significant. It is kind of one of those like step back and okay, yeah, things are definitely different around here. Yeah, I think we look at last year's spring game and all eyes were on the quarterback situation with Jalen Milroe and Ty Simpson. And last year, maybe it was the wind, maybe it was the lack of development, maybe it was the new offensive coordinator, whatever it was. We were like, wait, what is going on that Alabama is now going into the portal to get a Tyler Buckner? And everybody last year was saying Alabama's quarterback situation is in a really, really tough spot. I think you look at it this year and you say the exact opposite. Jalen Milroe is going to have some moments where he's figuring out this new offense. But I looked at Ty Simpson's performance and I thought, man, that's kind of the guy that I thought he was going to be last year. And somebody that looks like he has really figured some things out and has taken to the Kalen DeBoer offense really, really well. So I think that Alabama feels like it's in a much different place at the most important position. Obviously, other questions are kind of mounting for this team. I think there are a lot of questions on the defensive side of the football, but I think coming away from the spring feeling like you're in a better spot at the most important position is a really nice place for Kalen DeBoer to be.
You want a bold spring prediction?
Is it more bold than Colorado going 1-11 next year?
It involves Colorado. I appreciate you listening. Another black and gold team. I think Vanderbilt has more wins than Colorado next year.
Wow.
I like Clark Lee. I think he's kind of screwed.
He is, yeah.
At this time last year, I had him on my show, and I'm thinking to myself, Vanderbilt finally got it right. They finally got a coach who understands what it's going to take to be able to work in this NIL portal era. A guy that's as blue collar as it gets, former Vanderbilt player. He's going to be able to talk to the boosters, get the right type of momentum. They're finally renovating that stadium for the first time since like 1980. They have their guy. And a year later, you're kind of looking at this going, are they going to win 2 games? I don't know. I really, really don't know after we saw the way that things played out last year. I love CJ Taylor on the defensive end. He's a really, really fun player that could have gone to Tennessee, turned down those opportunities, and decided to stay at Vandy. But man, you just kind of look at that roster up and down and it gets picked apart by the portal. It's a one-way street with the portal. And I just don't know what the path to success is. Give me a reason that Vandy can win 2 games next year.
Their schedule.
Their schedule last year should have set up for that too, right?
Yeah,
I don't know.
But they've got Ball State, they've got Georgia State, which can be tricky, and then I forgot their opener. They should have 3 wins.
Georgia State without Sean Elliott, who made a very interesting decision to go to Columbia. I know that he's still his family ties were still in Columbia. He had been an assistant there, obviously. But yeah, maybe Georgia State looks a little bit different. Their top running back got poached by Mizzou, Marcus Carroll. He's going to probably be like some 1,500-yard rusher for Eli Drinkowitz just because that's what they do. But yeah, you look at that schedule.
They've got Alcorn State, Georgia State, Ball State, and then Virginia Tech in Nashville is the other. I'm not going to say they beat Virginia Tech, but I think they get 3 wins. I don't see Colorado with 3 wins. Do you?
Yeah, Steve McNair ain't walking through that door for Alcorn State. Golly. All right. Well, now that you put it like that, I think you might have talked me into it. The non-con schedule, it does set up a little bit for it. When I do these crystal ball things every August, wherein I predict every single game that an SEC team is playing, I always get to Vandy at the end because I do it in alphabetical order. And I'm like, oh, crap, I didn't give Vandy any wins in SEC play this year. And this feels like it's going to be another one of those years. But you're right. If they get a couple of those cheap ones in non-conference play compared to a Colorado team that, look, are they even going to have an offensive line? Or are they just going to let Shedeur Sanders just operate back there and just treat this like it's 7-on-7 football? At this point, I probably wouldn't rule that out with the personnel that they're returning.
By the way, you were right on Vanderbilt last year. No conference wins.
That's got to be the most depressing thing in the world as a fan. It's got to be. And actually, my a guy, Larry Black, is their defensive line coach, and I used to live on the same floor my freshman year of college as Larry, and he's just one of the nicest people I've ever met. And I root for his success. I legitimately do. He's just the nicest dude. But you look at all the different things that program is working through right now. I mean, the construction going on during the season and seeing the way that stadium was just looked like it was such a work in progress was just such a depressing sight for that fan base, man. Like, hug a Vandy fan if you can find one out there.
Texas is coming to the league, and there's a lot of things Texas has not gotten right in the last decade or 2 decades. But they've gotten it right timing this move to the SEC out. This roster on paper is about as good as Texas has been, and it times out perfectly. They are set up to fit in well in the SEC and be the biggest challenger to Georgia, in my opinion. Do you see that as we wrap up spring with Texas?
I do. And that's big of you to say, and not to say that Bama is in that same group, because, I mean, Texas showed, like, hey, they can absolutely hang with Bama and then some. I think that there are a lot of people in the SEC who look at this situation with Texas, and they were bracing for a certain version of Texas that they're not going to get. This is the first time that Texas preseason buzz has been legitimized. The year that they had last year to be able to win the Big 12, but not just win the Big 12, but their average scoring margin in conference play was plus 17. I mean, they were destroying teams. I realized that they had, some slow starts in a couple of games, but man, I look at what they did in year 3 with Sark, and it was everything kind of coming together. Now, they have a lot of turnover at the receiver position. We'll wait and see what that defensive line looks like with Bo Davis off to LSU, with Sweat, with Murphy. They're going to be coming off the board early in the NFL draft, but they got some really nice pieces returning on the back end of that defense. They have an offensive line that's got, 4 or 5 starters back for Quinn Ewers, who is, going into this season as one of the 5 best quarterbacks in the country, depending on where you look. So I look at all those things and I think, yeah, I mean, Texas has so many things working in its favor. You talk about the schedule working out in non-conference play, getting to go up to Ann Arbor with all the turnover that Michigan's going to have. Like, Texas has a very legitimate path to 11-1. And I'm usually the guy that's not saying that. That's saying, let's pump the brakes on Texas. But this year, I agree. I think they are the best challenger to Georgia to win a national championship.
Before you go, how far does Michigan fall off in your opinion? Are they still a playoff team, or are they just outside of that in the Big Ten?
I think they missed the playoff. I think they're at that 9-3. I think they're at that 9-3 place. If Ohio State doesn't beat Michigan this year, but they still find a way into the playoff, and Ohio State is able to kind of overcome things, you could see Ohio State get into the playoff and still see Ryan Day get fired. As crazy as that sounds, I do think that there's something to be said for that hanging over him. And what if Sherrone Moore beats this Ohio State team with all of that incoming talent that they possibly have? Yeah, look, I don't think Michigan makes the playoff just because I think Oregon is set up really well. I don't know that the Big Ten is going to have 4 playoff teams or something like that. So I'll say that they're just on the outside looking in.
Yeah, nine wins seems like you're the first tier out of the playoffs, 10 wins. If you're in the Power 2 conferences, seems like you're in the playoffs. In August, we'll get our number one team. Is it going to be Georgia for you? Is it going to be Ohio State? Is it going to be someone else?
It's going to be Georgia. It's got to be. I try and find things that can make me say Georgia won't win a national championship. And you could look at Brock Bowers, Ladd McConkey no longer being there. And then you see their pass catchers in that spring game, and you're reminded they have depth galore. They have proven SEC guys, even a Dom Lovett, who could be their second 1,000-yard receiver in program history, first since Terrence Edwards, 2002. And I look at all the different things they have on the defensive line up front, and yeah, they have some questions on the back end and the secondary with all the pieces they have to replace. They still got Malachi Starks, an All-American, back there as well. I just don't think that there are a lot of things that can prevent Georgia from getting to that place, especially with Carson Beck coming back. So yeah, they're going to be the preseason number one, but we've only seen one preseason number one team in the AP poll win a national championship in the last 19 years now. So in 2017, Alabama was that team. So maybe that's a bit more of a curse than a blessing for the Dogs going into the season.
Connor O'Gara, Saturday Down South. Man, we appreciate the time. Go read him, Saturday Down South, and check out his podcast over there, wherever you get our podcast as well. See you, buddy. We appreciate it. Connor,
gentlemen, appreciate it.
Connor O'Gara on the JohnsonRVCenter.com hotline show, being brought to you by our friends at Redmond Vodka. A little more to do in this segment, but tell us about Redmond.
Yeah, available in 22 states now, locally owned and operated. Charles Barkley, one of the great faces behind it. If you're a local bar or local restaurant, ask for it by name. If they don't have it, tell them to get it. Also available at ABC stores, package stores, including the Beverage Place Pink Package, 8 times distilled, gluten-free. Pick up a bottle today of Redmond Vodka.
Ross Dellinger reporting that 5 Michigan football coaches at the center of the recruiting violations during the COVID dead period have reached an agreement on penalties with the NCAA. 3 years of probation for Michigan, a fine and recruiting restriction, 1-year show cause orders for those coaches. Some of those are on their way to the NFL with Jim Harbaugh there. But that case is now coming to an end for Michigan, and it does not, the probation is just there's no loss of bowls or anything like that. So if you're a Michigan fan, you breathe easy as that case winds down there. The NCAA Infractions Committee approved the agreement, which calls for probation, a fine, and recruiting penalties for those 5 coaches there. There is one former coach out there who did not participate in the agreement, and that name not released yet. We'll get details on that. But that is developing with Michigan. The recruiting violations, but the dead period, but the penalties you get nowadays compared to what USC went through, what Alabama went through back in the day, what Auburn went through in the 90s, just not the same thing. All right, when we come back, we'll get to trash and a little bit more. Precision Sports gets you back in the game. PrecisionSports.com, Precision Sports and PrecisionSports.com gets you back in the game. PrecisionSportsOrtho.com. Let me get that right. PrecisionSportsOrtho.com. Part of the Brookwood Baptist Health Foundation there. Precision Sports, whether it's a tweak back, a knee, shoulder, anything you do, playing with the kids, picking up games in the driveway on the hoop, or maybe a golf swing that went bad, they can get you back to work and back to play. 205-512-3885, 512-3885 to make an appointment or get more details at precisionsportsortho.com/2024. precisionsportsortho.com/2024. Our friends at Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics.
Follow John Lunsford on Twitter @JLuntz.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
You
could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
NASCAR is returning to Talladega Super Speedway for the 2024 Geico 500 weekend, Saturday, April 20th through Sunday, April 21. Guarantee your 2024 Geico 500 weekend experience today by visiting TalladegaSuperspeedway.com or calling 877-GO-TO-DEGA. Enhance your race weekend by adding passes to the Talladega Garage Experience, presented by Cool Ray. It is the Geico 500 weekend, Saturday, April 20th and Sunday, April 21st. Guarantee your spot now, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com or 877-GO-TO-DEGA.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Hey, you. Days warming up, looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
The road to the Indy 500 runs through Birmingham, April 26th through 28th. The fastest IndyCar drivers in the world, Castroneves, Dixon, and Newgarden, will put their skills to the test with one goal in mind: victory. Witness country music superstar Riley Green as Grand Marshal give the most iconic command in racing.
Start your engine!
Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix powered by AmFirst at the Barber Motorsports Park. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours now.
Back with you on the next round. Little T's about to jump into Brown's chair to join us for trash. She also sent us on social media this flight emergency. A flight is returning to the Birmingham airport, which is closed right now because of a suspicious device found on one of those flights. I looked for the flight code for BHD. I think that's Belfast, like an overseas flight to Ireland. Do we fly straight from Birmingham to that?
I don't think so.
Not at all.
I feel like you'd have to go out of Atlanta.
You'd have to go out of Atlanta, yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking now that this is Birmingham, England's airport.
There's a map on there.
That would make a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. As I look at the code for the Birmingham airport's BHX, we're BHM.
Oh, sorry for the false alarm.
Yeah. Birmingham, England, in
did
Belfast.
you send this out?
No, I didn't send it out on social media. I just sent it to y'all.
Yeah. Because I was thinking to myself as I was working through that, I was like, God, we don't fly directly to Belfast.
I didn't even look to where it was going. I just saw Birmingham, and then I saw a bunch of people sharing it.
Birmingham, England, which is
sorry, guys.
As they say, Birmingham.
That's like
Birmingham.
60 miles east from here.
Yeah, Birmingham is.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little further.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those flight codes, they get me every time. When I looked up
did
BHD, I was like, Belfast.
Were you with us when we met? There was a crew at the brewery we were at on Saturday, and they were finishing up a true crime doc series here in Birmingham, and they were all from London, the entire crew.
I had left at that point.
Okay, so I had a conversation with them when I was talking to them about Birmingham, England. They were like, Birmingham, Alabama, much better than Birmingham, England.
Really?
Yeah, they really liked it here. I mean, they raved about the food, which you would imagine.
I pictured it being a lot of smokestacks in an industrial town.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's what people picture about us,
too, I guess we sort of had that back in the day. Regions Tradition is coming back to Greystone. In fact, Brown's out there testing the course out this afternoon. That's why he bounced away. Regionstradition.com to get the tickets for the big event that's returning to Greystone May 8th through May 12th. Golf greats like the wonderful Ernie Els, Jim Furyk, and defending champion Steve Stricker back in town to defend his championship. And don't miss the Drummond Company Celebrity Pro-Am. You'll get all the Alabama coaches. Kalen DeBoer, Nick Saban, Nate Oates all in one place. Hugh Freeze and Charles Barkley on the Auburn side. Riley Green will be there as well, and other great celebrities. And we'll be at the White Claw watering hole right there. Food trucks will be available this year. There's a Friday concert featuring the Black Jacket Symphony. They'll be out there as well on Friday. Buy your tickets today, regionstradition.com, regionstradition.com. Yeah, we pawned Brown off on golf this afternoon. He had to leave an hour early for golf, so that's where he is right now. We've been following the portal. You've been on the portal a lot today. Any name that popped for you yet?
No, not yet. Let's see if there's any updates.
Well, you brought to my attention that Dallin Hayden, running back Ohio State, that got to be a crowded room when Quinshawn came in. So he had, I think, 600 yards rushing in his Ohio State career. He's been in some games.
Yeah,
He's
it
got
seems
some
like,
talent.
man, that for whatever reason, Ryan Day's running backs are always banged up. But with Travion back and with Quinshawn now, it's just, Dallas just not got a lot of touches.
Yeah.
I saw something on Twitter. I think it wasn't from On3 about an Alabama kicker, but I haven't seen it on On3. I'm going by their transfer portal database thing.
Was it Talty?
It was.
If it wasn't Talty, then I'm not worried.
I don't remember who it was,
Yeah.
honestly.
I'll chase it down here in a bit. Before we get to trash, LT's got that queued up, and Little T's going to be here with us. Uncorked. Did you get another episode last night?
I'm filming it tonight.
Filming it tonight. All right. So
Man.
if you got questions, ask her anything at Taylor Corn TNR on social media at Taylor Corn TNR. Another Uncorked going tonight. She'll tape that. It'll be on the platform. And later today, 2 o'clock Central Time, another live edition of The Meltdown with a lot of the folks from Behind the Glass and hosted by Lunsford and Melton. That's available for you this afternoon live Monday through Friday. All right. It's time for Trash, brought to you by Mortgage Right. Hit the big button, Rockstar.
Around how many people would you say live on Earth?
On Earth?
Yeah.
8 million.
Million or billion?
8 million.
Yes.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
Sounds like an answer I would have given.
Our trash always brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right. Did the new year add to your financial uncertainty? Let the experts at Mortgage Right help get your financial house in order. Their team of experts can make sure you're prepared for anything 2024 may bring, including freeing up cash for the things you need to get done. Take control today. Visit Mortgage Right, Highway 280. You can apply online, mortgageright.com/TNR. Call 205-815-9200. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender. You guys ever peed in public?
Yes.
Like you talking about parking deck, golf course?
Yeah.
Like I actually at city stages.
I got busted by a cop in Tuscaloosa peeing in public lewdness, and they ended up not ticketing me, but they maybe sweated out in the back of a cruiser for a while.
Oh, wait, I just remembered a good story that I have about this, and you go.
No, you go. Please tell it.
I think it may have been freshman year of college.
It is more difficult for a girl to go in public.
Yeah.
Because, we can lean up side of a gas station or something, make it not as obvious.
My roommate still to this day and I were walking home from a bar, and we stopped, and it was dark. It was late at night, and we were like, there's a wooded area, so we're just going to stop real quick. A police officer pulled us over, turned his light like he was pulling over a car. It's like, what are y'all doing? And we were like, we're just going home. And he was like, where are you going home? That's through I don't know. It was awful, but we got away. We did not get in trouble.
Well, you didn't get away. Like, you talked to him and he released you.
We didn't.
You didn't
flee.
start running through the woods and got away from him.
No, I don't think he could actually see. I think he probably just thought we were up to no good because we were in the depths of the woods at Lord knows what
don't
time.
remember. You might remember what city we were in coming back from Auburn a couple of weeks ago, and I got Brown to pull in.
Oh, yeah.
And because the gas station, they were locked up on the outside, I did the old lean outside.
Yeah. No, I've gone behind the back of a gas station that didn't have a bathroom. I thought they did on a trip. In Phoenix, not this trip, but in Phoenix for Auburn, Oregon, in a parking deck. And the security guard came up and You're over there hiding like we don't have security cameras everywhere. He started putting at the cameras. I didn't even notice them. Yeah.
So this one out of Manhattan, a mother is hoping for change and a little sympathy after she was fined for doing what most parents would do when their young child has to use the bathroom in public. But there's seemingly nowhere to turn. That's the dilemma Michiko Sasaki was faced with. She often takes her son Kobe to a field near their apartment in Washington Heights, but last Saturday they headed to Battery Park for a change of scenery. Quote, he had an emergency that day. He said, I just really need to use the bathroom right now. I said, come on, let's go. The bathroom is right there. They headed to the park's building adjacent to the playground, only to find two doors that showed there were no bathrooms. Her 4-year-old couldn't hold it any longer, so he did what most kids would do and took a, quote, nature pee by some woods.
A little kid peeing outside, I have no problem with this. There are some people that potty train LT by just letting their boys run around the backyard bottomless.
I have kids over, and I give the kids credit because Dunaway says he's never pissed in a pool. We've never asked you this. You've peed in a pool, right?
Yeah.
In a pool?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I can't think of a specific time, but yeah,
Plenty
definitely.
of times. But I'll give friends' kids credit. They'll get out, and I've got that little Mexican rock next to the pool. They'll pee on the Mexican rock.
Yeah.
Just right there in front of everybody.
Yeah, rain washes it away.
So anyway, the 4-year-old couldn't hold it. Soon enough, 5 to 6 officers swarmed him and said, we're going to give you a ticket for this. It's absolutely against the law. You can't do this. They were fined $50, which was shocking to her and her parents.
For the
According to
little kid
eyewitnesses.
doing the bathroom.
Yeah,
Insane.
Machicho says the officers told her she should have found a bathroom. There are restrooms about 40 steps away in the building, but they were not obvious. They don't show up on any maps, and there were no signs guiding people over there. So they got fined $50.
Just no, that's wrong. If it's a kid, that kid's probably still potty training. I don't know what age that happens, but like, that's sad. She's probably traumatized. She was swarmed by cops.
Yeah.
5 to 6 cops, like not like just one guy. Like
Go, go.
Like they were running a sting operation or something.
Poor girl.
This one out of Iowa, a healthcare provider who specializes in acupuncture was fined and forgetting about a patient with needles inserted into their body. Have you guys ever had acupuncture?
No, I've considered it though.
Yeah, I've heard it's pretty awesome. Now, it may be one of the more unusual cases since
No way, you don't like it?
Well, I don't know if this is the same thing, dry needling and acupuncture. It might be the exact same thing. Mine the needles were hooked up to electricity, and they were like shooting bolts.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I'm sure it was the tiniest amount, but
Was this back to your sleep stuff?
no, this wasn't my sleep. I just have back issues, and it was so painful. I hated it.
Most banged up 23-year-old I know.
I know I have a lot of medical issues.
So wait, they basically put a electrical field on your back with little needles, and that were wired up, and they were shooting electricity into you?
Yeah, the needles are connected to some sort of device, and they slowly crank it up, and it's supposed to. I don't know if it tears your muscles a little bit.
Well,
to
it'll
loosen
stimulate
it up.
the muscles to loosen them up.
No, I felt like I was having a seizure on the table. It's like your butt, you can't control. I don't know. It was awful.
Well, they say this is one of the more unusual cases since Iowa's original Board of Medical Examiners was founded back in 1886. State Board of Medicine says that Dave Wang inserted the needles into the patient at his office in Rock Rapids, Iowa. Then he left the office and unfortunately fell asleep. Now, the patient waited for Wang to come back, but eventually took the needles out on his own and called the county sheriff's office for help.
It's kind of hard to get those. If you see in the back, it's kind of hard to get those needles out.
Yeah, you ever notice when somebody gets stabbed in the back in a movie, they can't get it out?
I mean, how long do you wait? You don't know your doctor's asleep. How
long they're supposed to be in there. Needles freak me out, the smallest needles. But people swear that can help you with pains in your back.
And like people quit smoking because of acupuncture.
Yeah.
I don't
What?
know.
How does that happen?
People said acupuncture helps quit smoking. I don't know.
And when they twist them, I just don't like it. I stopped going.
A student in Baldwinsville Baker High School has been arrested for allegedly sending a fax posing as the principal that stated he was resigning. 17-year-old boy created a fake school email account, then used it to send a fax, pretending to be the principal resigning from the school. Now, on March 7th, the teen allegedly created 2 fake school staff email accounts, attempted to get another student in trouble and get personal information about another student. School staff recognized the email accounts were fraudulent and no information was given. 13 days later, the teen allegedly sent the fax pretending to be the principal. He was caught after police realized the teen put his own cell number on the cover sheet of the fax.
Damn it. What's the worst thing you ever got in trouble for at Vestavia High School? Did you skip a class? Get caught skipping a class? Nope.
No. My classes, I always took the easiest classes, so I wasn't taking anything AP.
Yeah, well, they had to protect their star athlete.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I got more in trouble at club soccer.
Yeah.
Getting kicked out of practice and stuff, but I never really got in trouble.
Why'd
with
you
the
get kicked
school.
out of practice?
I don't even remember. I got kicked out twice.
It's like Yellow Jackets.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And my dad was our manager, so it was.
So what do you do? You just go sit in the stands?
No, she told me to. I don't remember if I was told to go home. One time, the first time it happened, I couldn't drive yet, so I had to wait until my parents were coming to get me.
With your cleats on?
Yeah, and then the rest of the team practice ends, and I'm still sitting there. I'm like, the other time I could drive, so I just walked, grabbed my bag. I didn't take my cleats off or anything. I just walked to the parking lot and went home.
What'd you get in trouble for? Did you smart off at the coach?
I don't remember. Probably, I don't know. I don't think so.
Y'all had a tough coach.
Yeah, well, it wasn't Coach Littleton.
Oh,
this
wasn't
my club
Joe
coach.
Bear's sister?
These are my club coaches.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why I didn't get along with them. We always reunited after that.
Well, my senior year, my little group, and this is typical Jim FOMO, I wasn't included in the plan, but a group of them smuggled vodka into the classes and were going to have it during the day. They were all in baggies, and some of the girls had put them in their the bras and snuck them in like they do at concerts sometimes, Ziploc, and they were going to partake throughout the day. And apparently one of them leaked or something into one of the class, and then trouble ensued. And I was at that point I wanted to be in trouble because my group was in trouble, and I wasn't. They didn't include me in on the vodka scheme.
You are unreal.
Yeah, but I was sitting there going, "Dang it! I wish I was in the office."
We
right
trashed a hotel room one time, and Homewood PD showed up that Monday, and there were a couple of us that got called back. And
at school.
Yeah.
That was the worst.
Anytime, the police department shows up and then you get called in, there's a major buzz around it.
I don't know. Do they still have speakers? But back in our day, it was the office. It was like, Miss Johnson, can you send Lance Taylor down to the office, please?
It was the best when you were getting checked out.
Oh, yeah, but it was horrible when you were going to the principal's office.
Tyler, I still need a Venmo request from you. Speaking of Venmo, when you scroll through community Venmo transactions, it's evident the request for comically small amounts of money are almost always made by friends who either were born with or earn more money than you. Now, the experience is curious and seemingly universal. Susan Bradley, founder of the Sudden Money Institute, coaches clients who have quickly or unexpectedly come into large windfalls of cash and how to transition out of being a have-not. Now, the phenomenon of the rich friend being the stingiest rings true, according to her. Quote, people with more money than their peers struggle with generosity. If a person knows that they are in a higher income bracket than their friends, they likely feel isolated or othered. According to Bradley, people with more money have a smaller population to have as peers, she says. So in some ways, they are peerless because their money is what differentiates them from their friends. They start believing that their money is why they have friends. Went on to say they don't want to be taken advantage of or feel like I have money and that's why people hang out with me. These insecurities manifest as a $4 Venmo request.
But maybe that's why they're in a financial better situation. They don't throw money away.
Yeah, but here's the thing. If you've already got the friends and you know you had the friends beforehand, why not be generous with the friends if you come into money?
Well, and if it's people that you're hanging around a lot, like my close friends that I'm with every weekend, if I get them something from the gas station and it's $5, like I'm not going to ask them to pay me, but it all evens out. I feel like
they'll get you something at some point.
Yeah.
Right.
And I've got friends that don't really have any money and they're generous.
Yeah.
Well, that was my point is I think generous people sometimes have less money because they give their money away. The people that are good financially, they make sure they know where every $10, $30, $50 goes. People like me, next thing you know, I've given away $100 today.
Well, the point also is like if it's Charles Barkley and he gets you a drink and he Venmos you $4, like I need you to, like you're going to be like, oh my God, he's got millions upon millions. What's this? And I think in their mind, it's just like, I don't want them to think that every time we go out, I'm just going to give them whatever they need. So it is chintzy, but I can understand. Like everybody thinks I'm going to buy everything.
He is a good example. I haven't been to dinner with him in a long time. I know you guys got to catch up with him in Phoenix, but anytime we go to dinner, he's picking it up. And it's normally a crowd of 8, 10, 15 people. And for the first 4 or 5 times, I was like, "Hey, let me chip in."
I did that one time,
but he won't let you. So it's like now I don't want to say it's expected, but it's like it falls on deaf ears.
Yeah.
I told Taylor the story. I did it one time, and he says, "Okay, Dunaway," and he slid me the bill, and I looked at it. I was like, slid it right back.
Seriously?
Yeah, it was more than my credit card could take.
Okay, so we are the perfect 4 for this. If Brown was on this panel, it wouldn't matter as much because he gets as much sleep as he wants. I told Dunaway I was coming up the stairwell today, and I heard somebody whistling. I swear to God. And I was like, it's got to be Brown. And it was Brown.
Tuesday.
But we're all reminded that we should be getting at least 7 hours of sleep every night. I would love to get 8. I can take 7. But whether it's lying awake with stress or being kept up by children, in reality, and this is a British survey, they get significantly less than this. Now experts have warned that your face could be paying the price. Sleep tech firm Simba has used AI to reveal what can happen to your face if you don't get enough sleep. Now, from dark circles to extra wrinkles, the images may serve as a reminder of the importance of getting a decent nap. Now, to create the images, Simba first surveyed 2,000 Britons on their sleep patterns as well as the aesthetic conditions of their face. Results revealed that over half the Brits are getting less than the recommended 7 hours a night, with over 55 suffering the most.
I don't see how it impacts your cheekbones. Your left eyebrow is somehow not as thick as when you sleep more.
She got a new freckle.
Well,
I was about to say the right one is a real picture of her, and the left one she has like some sort of filter on her
But if you're
face.
doing this all the time, which I feel like I am, it affects your muscles, right? And ultimately wrinkles. Now, the results revealed in terms of the impacts on the face, female respondents said they noticed light wrinkles, fine lines and sagging skin, as well as looking stressed and weary. Male respondents, on the other hand, reported eye bags, dry skin, looking weary when they didn't get enough sleep.
I need 5 to 6. I slept 9 hours when we got back from Phoenix and felt horrible all day because I felt like I slept too much. Yeah.
I could never sleep too much.
Yeah.
I don't think.
I don't think I could either. But the nap, if I get like an hour nap, sometimes I'm really groggy with that. But I don't know about you, but my allergies have got me, like I'm exhausted because I think it's the allergies.
Because you don't feel good? Or you're just run down?
Yeah, I just think it drains you out, and then you take Zyrtec on top of it, and I've already taken 2 Zyrtecs today. And
Are those, what is that called? Does that have like the sleepy side effect?
Benadryl like stuff?
Yeah.
No, not
it's
as
like
much.
a 12-hour thing.
But I still think it's got some of the side effects where you're not.
It makes you drowsy. That's what
you're not as clear as you typically would be.
It dries you out.
Okay.
Yeah. Allergies suck.
I will look like the girl on the right if that's actually real.
Not a bad look. She just looks like she's just woke up ready to attack the day.
Yeah, so
Dude,
me
she
every
looks
day.
like she got the daylights beaten out of her.
Yeah. I'd rather hang with the girl on the right than the one on the left. The AI generated.
That's exactly what they did.
Yeah. All right, that's our trash today, brought to you by
I'm
our friends
confused.
at
Do you like
Mortgage
the
Rate.
one with under 7 hours sleep better?
Yeah, she's more natural looking. I like the natural look.
More natural looking? It's like she cleaned somebody's house for the last 6 hours.
Housekeepers
Yeah, she
need
didn't
love
sleep
too.
either.
Are you a veteran looking for a VA loan? Mortgage Right has been advocating for veterans since their company began. As a veteran-owned, operated company committed to your well-being, they can help you find the best terms available and guide you through every step of the process. Visit their location, Highway 280 in Birmingham. You can apply, mortgageright.com/TNR. Call 205-815-9200, NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Look at me, LT. I'm lucky if the girl on the right even talks to me. I know she looks like she just cleaned somebody's house, but
it's funny. Were you there when my former housekeeper came up at the brewery on Saturday too?
No, I'd left before that too.
Yeah,
so you met a London film crew and your former housekeeper.
I was like, I really need a deep cleanse, and she was like, well, me and the other girl can come back out. And then when she walked off, Maddie was like, she ain't cleaning your house again.
She fairly attractive?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So you're searching for a housekeeper?
not necessarily.
Yeah.
But it was just part of the conversation. Oh, you want to come back out and clean? Yeah, you can come back out and clean. She was like, she ain't come back out.
Yeah. Knowing Maddie, she'll have an all men's crew there cleaning pretty soon. They'll be like, shoo, in hazmat suits. When we come back, we'll recap what has happened in the portal today and everything else that is happening. But the big thing is Caden Proctor is in the portal, expected to quickly sign with Alabama. And we'll keep you up to date on that as that moves throughout the day. Show being brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. This girl over here loves chicken fingers. She loves Champy's chicken fingers and a little side of ranch that they make there on Highway 119 in Alabaster. Sterling can whip you up something good for lunch right now or dinner tonight. For your tailgates in the fall, parties and office meetings, anything, champyschicken.com for details. Mississippi Delta recipe, tamales, and so much more. Champy's Chicken, champyschicken.com.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemphill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention The Next Round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemphill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemphill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemphill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com.
NASCAR is returning to Talladega Super Speedway for the 2024 Geico 500 weekend, Saturday, April 20th through Sunday, April 21. Guarantee your 2024 Geico 500 weekend experience today by visiting TalladagaSuperspeedway.com or calling 877-GO-TO-DEGA. Enhance your race weekend by adding passes to the Talladega Garage Experience, presented by Coolray. It is the Geico 500 weekend, Saturday, April 20th and Sunday, April 21st. Guarantee your spot now, TalladagaSuperspeedway.com or 877-GO-TO-DEGA.
The region's tradition returns to Greystone, May 8th through 12th. A decorated field of players featuring some of golf's greatest names, including Ernie Els, Jim Furyk, Padraig Harrington, and defending champion Steve Stricker.
Oh my goodness!
All fighting for another shot at history. The legends play here. The region's tradition at Greystone. Get your tickets today.
The road to the Indy 500 runs through Birmingham, April 26th through 28th. The fastest IndyCar drivers in the world, Castroneves, Dixon, and Newgarden, will put their skills to the test with one goal in mind: victory. Witness country music superstar Riley Green as Grand Marshal give the most iconic command in racing.
Start your engine!
Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix powered by AmFirst at the Barber Motorsports Park. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours now.
Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst is back May 12th through 14th on Logan Martin Lake in Pell City. It is Bama's biggest in-water boat show with more than 100 boats and vehicles on display, vendors and food trucks, live music all weekend long, and it is free public admission. Don't forget the Friday night fireworks show, free Velcro Pygmies concert Saturday, free mimosas for Mom on Mother's Day Sunday. LoganMartinLakeFest.com for more info. It's the annual Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst May 12th through 14th. LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
By the way, Braves win again last night 6-1 over the Astros. If you look at what the Braves are doing, their top three hitters, Acuna has 22 RBIs already on the year. Albies has 14. Riley, who was 3 of 5 last night, has 12 RBIs. They play again in Houston tonight, 7-10, first pitch there. Right now in the National League, best winning percentage, them in Milwaukee. What really is crazy is that the Astros are 6-11 or 6-12, 6-12. They're off to a horrible start.
Free play today, Astros against Braves.
Oh, at lanceslock.com. You can go there and get the free play. NASCAR tickets available for you right now at TalladagaSuperspeedway.com, TalladagaSuperspeedway.com, or you can call them up, 877-GO-TO-DEGA, get all the details. Free camping. Everyone's starting to pitch their tents out there in the primitive camping. They'll be there all week with RVs and everything. We'll be out there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with our friends at Johnson RV. Upgrade your tickets there to the Big Bill's garage area. Watch 22 NASCAR teams working their cars with only separated by a waist-high fence. You can watch them, talk to them, and see what's going on. Experience Talladega, the great people watching the great racing, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right there at the TalladegaSuperspeedway.com, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. BYU's basketball job opening is about to be closed. They're about to hire Phoenix Suns associate head coach Kevin Young, according to the Field of 68. So NBA guy going to take the BYU head coaching job.
Yeah, it's a pretty good basketball job, too, now in the Big 12. And, you know, they've had success in the past. I mean, some of those names from the past, Jimmer Fredette and Danny Ainge. I mean, and look, Mark Pope gets the Kentucky job from BYU. Of course, he never would have gotten it if he wasn't a Kentucky alum.
And then there's Rylan Griffin, who left Alabama. According to On3 Sports, they're now predicting his landing place. You know how they do the crystal balls and things like that?
It's going to guess Memphis.
Kansas.
Okay.
They are expecting Rylan Griffin to end up at Kansas.
And he'll probably end up being an all Big 12 performer. He's got that much talent.
He was my favorite player, and a lot of, like Brody says, Kansas all along. And I get the feeling a lot of people feel like there
was tampering.
There were some conversations happening way before.
Bill Self would never do that.
Yeah. Kansas.
You can't blame him.
See, I like him because he's got that shot offensively, but he's so good defensively. He doesn't hurt you on either end of the court.
Yeah, but, you know, it's one of those things that obviously Kansas went out early in this tournament. But if you are going to leave a team like Alabama where a program is ascending like that, it does make sense. At least you're going to a true blue blood that's got a chance to win a championship.
So I would be fair than saying, Gary and Brody, you're commenting on this in the chat room. I'd be fair in saying that Rylan was probably not asked to leave. That this is one where he's taking a bigger, better offer.
But I'll stick by this. As good as Rylan is and as much potential as he has, Nate has got to clear this roster up a little bit. So if you're Rylan Griffin and you come in and you're like, hey, I want to go to Kansas, I don't know how much you can argue this or try to resell him on Alabama.
Michigan and the NCAA ruling that came down today about 5 assistants who did illegal recruiting during the COVID dead period. That does not include the sign stealing allegations. That is being looked at separately. So
Connor Stallions is not even named in this, right?
This is not the Connor Stallions. That is still being investigated. We'll see if anything comes of that. Remember, Michigan instituted through the Big Ten some penalties. I think that was going to be settled with what they did last year, but maybe there'll be more still to come from the NCAA. This did not involve sign stealing. This was all about the illegal practices during the COVID pandemic when nobody was supposed to be practicing. And from what I understand, the 3-year probation does not impact Michigan's chance to make the playoffs or be in a bowl game or anything like that. It's just a probation period where they need to keep their nose clean over that period of time.
Did we talk about, did I miss this? Because I just saw it pop up on ESPN.com, but it was done April 5th. And it was their top 10 coaches in college football for 2024?
I did not. I was away at that time.
I don't ever remember seeing it, but it's dated April 5th. But, I mean, this is fascinating. We all know who number one is,
Is
right?
it an Adam Rittenberg story?
It doesn't have an author on here, yeah.
Kirby Smart is number one.
Yep.
Then it gets interesting. Who would I put in number 2? I mean, Harbaugh has left. I probably would put, this is going to sound stupid, I probably would put Ryan Day number 2.
Okay, here we go. When we asked our college football reporters to rank the top 10 coaches, we figured there wouldn't be much debate about number 1. There wasn't. But after that, there was very little consensus. So it doesn't say how they did it. Well, with points assigned based on a reporter's votes, 10 points for first place, 9 for second, down to 1 for 10th place. Here are the complete rankings. I'm going to start from 10 and then go up real quick.
Okay. I picture Kalen DeBoer about 4. I've got Ryan Day at 2.
Ryan Day's number 10.
Number 10, okay.
Number 9 is Lance Leopold.
Yeah, a lot of love for him at Kansas. They're rebuilding their stadium and a football complex, and he's hanging around there.
Again, I think they're in line for a special year coming off 11 wins. I can't have Lane Kiffin at number 8. He just hasn't done enough against top-tier programs.
Hasn't won any big games yet, but most people expect that to change this year.
7 is Steve Sarkisian.
Yeah, big year last year.
Number 6 is Dan Lanning. There is no way you can have him in front of some of these that have won big games.
He's a great recruiter.
Number 5 is Mike Norvell.
Showed a lot last year.
Number 4, Dabo Swinney.
Good resume.
Number 3, Kyle Whittingham.
Wow.
And number 2 is Kalen DeBoer.
Wow. So, I mean, there's a good chance if Nick Saban was still the coach, it would be Kirby Smart and Nick Saban.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
So Brian Kelly was 11th, Lincoln Riley 12th, Kirk Ferentz was 13th, Luke Fickell 14th, Eli Drinkwitz 15th.
How far down does it go?
So Drinkwitz 15, Mac Brown 16, Mike Gundy 17, Jonathan Smith at Michigan State 18, Dion 19, Kirk Signetti at Indiana 20, Chris Kleiman 21, and John Summerall at Tulane as far as it goes at 22.
Oh, how about that? Some interesting names there. Where was Brian Kelly again?
He was 11th.
11th. Big year for LSU.
Yeah, it is. But, I would look at it like this. Like Hubert Davis in basketball played for national championship, missed the tournament, and back to a 1 seed. For Brian Kelly, he wins the SEC West, and then he wins 10 games and has a Heisman Trophy winner. I know it wasn't exactly what we expected. Never expected the defense to be that bad, but for him to be outside of the top 10 based on a 10-win season, I don't get that.
Yeah, but then it's trouble if he ends up having a down year this year, and you throw Texas into the mix if they're in fourth. I mean, a lot of people are projecting Alabama to finish fourth, and we'll get to the SEC meetings coming up in July where the media will do their official rankings. But a lot of people are going Georgia, Texas, Ole Miss, Alabama.
Yeah, but I can't.
LSU.
I can't have Sark and Lane Kiffin in the SEC in front of Brian Kelly. I just don't even know how you explain that.
It all depends on whether you're looking forward or what you've done to this point. If you're looking forward, you could say Ole Miss's roster, Texas roster, better than LSU's roster next year.
Yeah,
That's
but
the
if
only
I'm
way you can
looking
do
forward to and I think the expectation this year is going to be Georgia, Texas, Alabama, and then maybe another fourth, maybe an Ole Miss to get into this college football playoff. But if I'm looking forward, I think LSU over the next 5 years is in a better spot than Ole Miss. I don't know about Texas. It would be really close. I trust Brian Kelly more than I trust Sark, though.
Nick Saban retired at a perfect time for Brian Kelly to where LSU now can get back to owning all of the state of Louisiana, where Nick Saban continued to go in there and steal great players from Louisiana. That day is done there, and it is now LSU picking and choosing of the Louisiana recruits they want. That helps Brian Kelly a ton down the road. A lot of good football down there in Louisiana. Appreciate you being with us here on this Tuesday. Again, the Meltdown at 2 o'clock today right here on this same platform. 2 o'clock Central. You can watch that live. Like and subscribe when you're there. A new Uncorked being taped today. It's coming out. Like and subscribe also on this platform when you get to that. We've got a Mystery Fifth Hour we recorded earlier this week. You can go check that out and everything else on our platform. Remember to like and subscribe and give us a thumbs up. It helps us out a lot. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.